So is it like at a casino?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. They do that sometimes here with a Wheel of Fortune or something.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coin Q&A. Welcome to Manta Coins. Can y'all see me, hear me?
I can.
Yippee! All right, well, let's bring everybody on board here.
Linda.
I like this one better. All right. All right. I think we're good. Hey, everybody.
Danger.
We got Linda. Listen.
Linda, listen, Linda.
Randy Collins, Tim Holmes. Good to see you guys. Coy.
Peter.
Indiana Tones.
Indiana Tones. George.
Hey, Absolute Coins. How's it going?
I smashed the like button, but I'm afraid I might not be impartial.
Smash that like. Indiana Tones. Big fun.
I like that. I like that username, Indiana Tones. I like that one.
Too.
For sure.
Hoosiers here. We get
Well, we've got a fun show coming up here with, as long as you guys send us email with your coin question and pictures, make sure you send it to, there it is, checkmycoin@yahoo.com. Try to get a high resolution picture of the front, the back, and the areas you have a question about. It's that easy. And this panel will take a look and give you our opinion. So talking about the panel, let's start it off introducing ourselves. Paula, maybe would you take us first?
Sure. I'm Paula Bloom. I've been collecting coins now for about 2 years. My thing that I love most is errors and varieties. I try to learn everything I can about them. I'm still new and learning, but that's it. Yeah, that's it. Next.
And
Hey, how are you? I'm Ken. I'm just sick with these things. I got more coins on my desk than desk. Honestly, you can't see it anymore. I got a little spot right here so I can move the mouse. I like to promote the hobby, right? Talk about coin collecting, try to teach people how to identify these coins properly and correctly, identify it and say, aha, I know what's going on with that coin. That's deterioration or mechanical doubling or some darn thing, whatever it may be. So, geez, we got a lot of videos out there. Why not watch? You might just learn something by accident. That's a lot of fun. I've been doing this for forever. Really, I don't remember a time before I collected coins. Why not go with it? We got a lot of experience on this panel bringing to bear, so we could probably give you a good idea of what's going on with your coins, and that's the whole idea, is to help you learn.
Jeffrey?
So I'm Jeffrey. I run a YouTube channel, Shimar Coin Chats. I'll start by saying I'm a liar. I said last week was my last week on the panel, but work schedule didn't kick into effect, so I still got this week and possibly next week. So I'll start by getting out of that way and cover for Paula, because Paula was telling people last week was her last week, and that was how it was supposed to be. But I guess you have to you have to deal with me another week or two. So I've been collecting as long as I can remember. I guess coins are kind of ingrained in my soul and essence at this point. My area of expertise is diprogressions and trends. That leans back to the minting process and the tail end of the minting process, and how the dies that are used to strike the coins, how they break down, cracks, wear of all sorts, and how that affects the coins that come off that minting press. So Die Progressions and Trends can be a heavy read. It's probably the easiest way to say it, but it's a fun time, and learn the minting process. Learn the minting process.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris.
Hey, everybody. By now, hopefully you all know who I am. I'm very active in the online coin community, specifically on Facebook, a little bit on YouTube. There's my YouTube channel. It looks weird, UCLWNKNF. It's Chris's coin channel. So I write blogs, articles. Adventures in Coin Roll Hunting is my blog home. So you can check that out. A lot of information there. And I'm very active, in the Facebook coin groups, where I answer questions, I ask questions, and meet a lot of people. I'm a coin collector, just like everybody else here. I'm addicted to it. And I also enjoy varieties and errors quite a bit. But I enjoy every aspect of the hobby. And that's it. Thank you.
Well, there's some problems here. getting used to this software is a little different. All right.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, we got to take a look at that. What's that?
Oh,
Oh, God.
He's dyeing his hair.
Chrome Dome.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said anything.
I'm just messing around, man.
I tried to tap the aliens to send you a message, but it wasn't getting through.
I had a shield. Look, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
That's all right.
Let's see what's going on over here in chat. We got a bunch of people coming here. I see Ray's Penny Farm, Robert, Linda, Coin Searcher, lots of new people. We're ready to get going.
For sure. All right. Well, let's just hop right into the first round of emails, and then we'll get to the questions. So let's see what I have here. Image viewer. All right, good.
You guys like it?
You can see nothing. You'll see nothing.
Oh, there's invisible coins.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'll save that one. All right. So I think our first question was from Andrew, Black Cloud Mining, and he it was so funny, his email. He's like, he said, "Well, I wiped the grease gunk off of this one. I'm assuming I ruined another error by cleaning it." And I think I replied to him at the time that I don't think this was doing that good anyway to worry about whether you cleaned it or not.
That's a greaser.
It is a greaser. Yep.
Of course, he degreased it.
He degreased it. Yeah.
One thing to note with these, everybody calls them slightly something different. We kind of know what they are, so we call them greasers. But you'll also hear them called grease-filled die errors or struck through grease. It all means the same thing. And yeah, I mean, at some point, cleaning doesn't really do much more harm to a coin if it's circulated like that. I'll never recommend cleaning, but really, what's the harm in that one? So
now, here's a typical grease error, and in God we rust. You can find on Kansas quarters. You'll find it on the Kansas, on the Bison. In 2005, you look at the motto, "In God We Trust," and the T is greased. You can still see the T, but it's not as defined as the rest of the letters. So this is just one of those well-known ones. We find a lot of them down here in Texas.
Can you put that one back up there, Shay?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think it's important to also point out what the look is on the flat field part of the coin as well.
Yeah,
For some reason on quarters and nickels and dimes, when you have that struck through grease going on, you get a weird texture on the flat fields, and you can really see it in between the G and the ponytail there, above the P. It's just a weird texture. I don't know how else to explain it, but once you see it and know what it is, you'll recognize it all the time.
A lot. I mean, I see it all the time. It's this, it looks like kind of a garbage bag laid on top of the surface or something. I almost want to, like it's just, I see it on a lot of coins. No, it doesn't always get filled into the die this much.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
There, just made a grease-filled die.
Is it Play-Doh time already?
Oh, yeah. It's always a good time to teach. Okay, we get 2 dies here. If we can see that. CJ makes these, are real slick, right? Now on the die, the design is in cubes, right? But every now and then they lubricate these machines and you get some doo-doo in there and it picks up dust and crumbs and whatever else is floating around the system. It gets pretty firm, pretty packed out. It's like that stuff you get like on your boot treads after you've been hiking through a swamp. Okay, now normally when you press the die into the coin, you'll get a beautiful design. Look at that, nice and sharp, and everything's raised up, right? Okay, but if you have a grease-filled die, you got some doo-doo jammed in there filling it up, and you make your coin. What happens? Part of that design is missing because the metal's not able to get into that device. That's what struck through grease is all about. There it is. Well, that's been squished. And there it is with the grease-filled die. Well, anyway, now you can show people what that's all about.
Hey, keep that handy, Ken, because not necessarily the Play-Doh, but keep that die handy because we're going to look at that later, too. We're going to take a close look at that and something else that can happen in that instance.
If I need to, I can clean that die out and take that stuff out of the die.
No, leave it in by all means.
All right. I'll prepare another plancher.
I know what it is.
Yeah, leave it in.
There we go.
You own that coin.
I'm not going to give it away, but I'm hoping for some better pictures. I have one that I sent in. I'm kind of holding out because she said she was going to send me some better pictures, but we have something really cool to show tonight, and it goes hand in hand with what you're doing there, Ken. So just keep that handy, okay?
I'll keep it handy. Yep. Jared says, I found a 2019 struck through grease with grease still on the coin. Is that
no more valuable than the regular struck through grease?
Yeah, it just means cool. Have a damage on your coin.
It is cool though when you find them with the grease still on them.
All right, so the next coin comes from Richard B, and it says grading opinion. Looks like an Ike. Yep.
Man, if you want to put yourself on focus so we can see that better.
Yep. Coming up.
Thank God you came, Jeffrey, this week.
Keeping us in line.
Yeah, he does.
Lots of back.
Not a very clear picture, is it?
No.
No. So we're limited by the resolution here. That is a type 1, by the way. It's got those big blocky letters. So this was made in 1975.
I guess I'll chime in and say about these Ikes. These Ikes were very, very highly stricken with not good strikes. These were very, very large planchets, and the men at the time just didn't have the right equipment to strike these coins well. There's a good example of there's what were they, proof or special issue Ikes that the U.S. Mint put out, and they in essence put an apology in with the coins that they sent out directly from the mint, saying that they're not going to take them back in terms of for having a weak strike, because they just didn't have the presses that could strike these large coins. So most Ikes, it's going to be hard to get above a 64-65.
Yep,
with
nothing
most.
second best.
And that's just because the U.S. Mint just didn't have the equipment to strike these coins as fully as they needed to.
So now, with that being said, and I don't claim to know much about Ikes at all as far as values in higher grades, but based on that statement, that would tell me that higher grade Ikes should have much higher value. It kind of reminds me of like the certain date nickels where full steps designation adds an extreme amount of value to it, because those specific years were known for weak strikes. And if you have a strong strike in a high grade, that then puts that coin in a whole new spectrum. Shouldn't the same follow true with these Ikes as well? And on top of that, like you mentioned, it's such a large coin. It also makes it, to me, it makes it more condition sensitive as well. You have more surface area to get banged around. So you would think that the value on these would be much higher in the higher grades. I don't know, because I haven't ever really studied that portion of it. But now that we're kind of talking about it a little bit, it makes me want to do some research, because maybe there's some untapped, revenue out there for us because Ikes, some people love them, some people hate them. They never really caught on.
They're just starting to take hold.
Yeah, I mean, Ikes. A lot of beginner collectors like Ikes. A lot of younger collectors like them because they never really saw them before. But maybe there's something there that we could start looking into as collectors. Higher grade Ikes. Who knows?
The other thing in terms of the market as well is these Ikes don't tone well, at least the clad ones. It's hard to find a nice, good toning on some of these. So these, some of those Ikes that have good natural, I'm going to put that in quotes, natural toning, they carry a pretty good premium.
Look at all those Ikes. The Ike Group is a good website to go look at different varieties of Ikes, by the way.
Let me see if I get that link up.
All right, let me grab the next one. He sent another one he wants an opinion on grading for.
Yeah, we didn't really give him much of an opinion on that one.
I give it MS61 and 62. They do take a lot of hits. It looks like you're missing some luster on there. So AU is possible, especially once it's gone into circulation. They're big, they're heavy, they take somewhere pretty quickly. These are circulated Ikes. They're in great shape, right?
And that also proves another point. Like, a lot of people think that just because it's still in the mint packaging that it's going to be in a really high grade. And that's not necessarily true. Those are mint sets, so they are business strike coins, and they are handled accordingly by the mint.
Yep. What you're looking for are the highest points and the most easily accessible points. Right across the inside the head a bit, the chin and jowl, right, jawline, top of the ear. Those are the highest points on these coins, and they're going to take the wear first. On the back, it's going to be say the eagle's head. Right, you want to see an eye and a beak, all the feathers here along the breast. Over here, the tops of the feathers are heavy wear points. The drumstick, oh man, that looks delicious. These are the points that are going to wear the first. So if you see a trace of wear, it's no longer uncirculated. And it only takes this much, just a little bit. These are all circulated specimens. They look pretty good. They got plenty of luster, but they've been circulated.
And at $4 for that 76 Type 1 in uncirculated condition is about $4. So that's not what we would typically send in for grading.
No, that's not going to be grade worthy. When you get into the coins that you want to send in for certification, especially with moderns, you want a coin that is virtually flawless. You want to see no issues on that coin. Let me pull out the best looking one. I'd say that one. Okay, I'm going to put it under the scope. If I can find the scope. There you go. But for modern coins, look, they've made billions or hundreds of millions of these. So you want to see a coin with no blemishes. Let's see, right about there. There's some focus for us. That'll work. Okay, what did you got here? I got a big ding on the date, right? Another one on the 7 over here. We got just little contact marks. A lot of these small things aren't going to show up on the scale that would be used to grade these coins. But, you know, this gash here, that's pretty small. But this is going to take it, and this coin is, we would be hard-pressed to get MS65 if this was an uncirculated coin with this much contact marks. They're big, they're heavy, they did a lot of damage to each other. They used to ship them in bags. There you go. You'll see these marks all the time. This is another coin, the rim of another coin impacting this coin. And if you want to get MS67, 68, you don't want to see any of that. You're looking at the rim. Is the rim sharp and tight and neat and without blemish? That's what you got to have. So most of the modern coins are not going to be certifiable. Well, you can certify them, but you're going to lose money on the deal. There you go. We got a little ding on the rim over in this area here. There's a ding on the rim. It's not much. You see the head of the toothpick is this big. These are small, but that's enough to take it down. Think of certification as being an advanced technique skill with the coin collecting. It's very easy to just throw your money away. It looks good to you. How much experience do you have with grading high-end uncirculated coins? Because that's what you need to have if you want to win that game. It takes, oh, there it goes. It takes very little to cause enough contact damage that it won't get those top grades.
A prime example of it taking a lifetime to get coin grading down. A good example would be Chuck. So Chuck sends in rolls and rolls in bulk submission. With NGC, you can set it to where anything gets below 66, they just don't grade it. You really don't have to pay for it in essence. So then Chuck starts going through the coins that didn't get to 66, and then he starts going, oh, I didn't see this, didn't see that. So coin grading is something that takes a lifetime to get a good handle on.
For sure.
Yeah, take a break before you think, I want to send this in. It's really shiny. It looks great. Take a break, set it aside, go back to it a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year later before you kiss your money goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I've been trying to tell myself that I've got to look at least 1,000 images of a certain coin to be able to tell, or look at least 10,000 coins in my hand and try to grade them. There's very few coins I have done that with. I mean, if you can imagine what the guys over at PCGS or NGC or Annex, the graders, the guys that sit in the grading rooms all day long, grade coins. Imagine how many coins they look at of a particular type, and just think about, you know, how good, you know, they're good. These guys are giving their opinions all day long, and they're supposed to be objective about it. And if you want to give a good opinion, you're going to need to expose yourself to that many coins.
They're looking at hundreds per day. They'll see top grade, top quality coins all day long, and they can easily tell the difference. Is it MS65, MS66? Because when you're looking at that many, you pick it out real easy. Here's a little blemish over here by the rim, right? Here's some spots. Here's some contact marks. right across the vest. It jumps out at you when you're looking at them all day long. Here's a contact mark. This coin, this is probably MS63. Here's a couple more marks up here, right? But you look at that in hand at home with inexperienced eyes, and you say, man, that's a gorgeous penny right there for a 1966. Got full luster, not screwed up, and got no holes in it. You're looking for a coin that is virtually flawless on anything modern, anything after 64. If it's got a couple of marks, it's probably out of the competition.
Okay, so we've got one more coming in, and it's also from Richard B. And it says, what kind of grade would this receive? 64D Kennedy FS 105. So this is known as the quadrupled die. Let me see if I can get zoomed in here. It shows on the trust. Now, I don't have a clear enough picture to tell you whether this is FS 105 for sure or not.
Shay, make yourself bigger.
Oh, thank you.
Jeffrey's like the deputy, man.
All right. I'm just lucky I hadn't hit the big red end broadcast button yet. All right. So let me look at this some more. 1964. We got marks here in front of the face in the field.
Chin,
all cheeks, the
jawline,
Ear.
the hair. Yeah, look at that ear. The reverse is very nice. I mean, you got full tail feathers, so you can actually see the lines in the tail feathers. That's good. We got some dings here. We got some scratches along the stars and here. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's, overall it's in beautiful shape. It's probably, I would say, MS 62 maybe.
I don't think there's enough resolution here to determine that.
If I could see the fields a lot better and the details on this.
Yeah, it's my biggest thing on this is I can't see if there's luster in that coin, how there's fields that look.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top of the hair, below the cut line. I want to see his cheek, especially his jaw, where that bright spot is. I can't see those spots.
Yeah.
It takes next to nothing for wear, and it goes from uncirculated to AU. Now, if that's AU, it's a pretty darn fine AU. I'd give it AU 58. If it's not circulated, with all the marks that are on there, you're probably looking at MS 62 to 63. Some of those are pretty substantial, especially on the bottom of his neck.
Let's show.
But for a quadruple die, that's probably pretty good.
So Stephen Jones is asking, how does coin grading work? Just curious. I would say the best crash course on coin grading is go to PCGS YouTube. They have, in essence, a crash course of a lot of the basics. Because we'd be sitting here all night in terms of coin grading. That's what I'd recommend. If you're new to it, go look into those PCGS course YouTube crash courses.
Yep, they got. Y'all can see my browser screen, right?
Yes.
PCGS photo grade. You can go here, and there's $50. You can go to the Kennedys, and then you can actually get a nice set to look at. And on the surface, your coin could look like any of these, without being able to see the luster of the coin and up close details. We can't really tell. So, at this range up here, you're talking about like a $35 coin. So if it's down here, it may not be worth grading, so it's likely not. So, whoops.
Now, modern coins will run you, $17 to $19 for the certification fee. You got to pay shipping both ways. You have to pay insurance, at least return. And if you have a die variety, then want another $17 to identify that and list it on the label. Geez, if you got a 1964 quadruple die and you want to get that certified, it's going to run you. We're talking what, 40, 50 bucks anyway. Then you also have to be a member of PCGS, and that's a $70 a year fee, or $69. NGC is a little bit better, $59 a year instead of $69 a year. Annex, you don't have to have a membership, and a lot of times they have deals where you get a coin certified for 10 bucks.
Annex has a deal running right now, actually.
The fall special?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, they do a quarterly thing, so save them up. But it's going to cost you 50 bucks to certify a coin. If your coin is not worth, 50 bucks more than what you paid for it, you're going to take a loss on that. A lot of people, their knee-jerk reaction is to say, you should get that certified. You got to get that slabbed. Well, it takes a little more homework to determine if there is a gain, because the coin in the slab or not in the slab is worth the same amount. All you get with certification is a third-party opinion, and they do have some insurance in case it is incorrect.
Yeah, so Annex deal's going on right now. It's a 20 coin minimum, $10 a piece. Until the end of the month. So 20 coin minimum, $10 a piece. But that doesn't include your shipping.
All right, I've got another email from Super Silverman, and let me go ahead and put myself up. There we go. Transition. All right. 1972S says 1972S proof Lincoln Memorial sent DDO. There's no question. Let's see. Let's take a look at it.
Top of that too is screaming out.
Oh yeah.
Master.
Look at the I in Liberty.
I was going to say that I's jumping.
There's actually, I see a little notching at the top left of the B as well.
Now, have you got a shot of In God We? Yeah, right there.
Oh, yeah.
This is a classic example of master die doubling.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no added value on this one. You will see this in about half of all your 1972 cents, and that's PDS and proof. It really shows up well on in, especially that N, where it looks like an N on top of the N.
Yep.
It's the master die is hubbed by the by the master hub, and well, it can be doubled at that stage. And every coin produced, every die produced downstream, every coin produced by any die made from the working hub, made from the master die, all of them will show this exact same doubling. And this is a big gotcha on the 1972s, because there are some legitimate doubled dies, which is the doubled working die. This is a doubled master die.
I would like to see that Liberty closer. That I, and that's master die doubling there, because that really looks a little bit different to me.
The B, that top loop of the B, is the result of master die doubling.
Yeah, that I agree with 100%. But I'm looking at the extra thickness in the I, and the notching top left I and B. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think this one might deserve a closer look or something.
I'm going to do a little comparison. There we go. We had a couple of these, and I'm not seeing it yet. There are some doubled dies that are produced with a doubled master die in the proof series. And I've got
For sure.
I've got these. I'm trying to check against Konica and see what they have for proof double dies that are produced with the master double die.
I see that notching in the I and B all the time on the master die doubling, though. It's always very weird.
I mean, this one just, you know, I haven't looked at a lot of proofs. I've looked at a heck of a lot of business strikes, and I have not seen this extra thickness and notching on Liberty on the business strikes that have the master die doubling is what I'm getting at.
Well, you've got a proof strike. Okay, if you got my screen, I can show you what I've got. Let's see here, the screenshot. Let's see if we can fit this in. There we go. We got them all. Okay, on Variety Vista, the Konica website, they have 5 examples of 1972S double die obverse. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 of these are proof, and you can tell it's proof because the listing is PR, PR, and PR. So I open up all 3 of these. Let's look for examples of a double die on a proof that also shows master die doubling. This one is clean. This is not the master double die. The next one is not the, wait a minute.
Scroll up just a little bit more. There you go. That one is.
Did everybody see Amy's question?
Yep. And the third one
Yeah.
is not. So we've got one option for a known double die for your date, but I don't see any extra bits on the L and I in Liberty. So I don't have a match for you. Also, what I'd be looking for is a whole lot of extra tail on that too. So I think what you see above the L and I is just a little bit of glare. Those proofs are so hard to photograph. But this bit on the N is master die doubling. And Wexler's got a great article on that. I can post that link in just a minute. Where's Wexler? There we go. I'll get you that link so you can read about master die doubling.
Good night, Absolute.
Ken, you want to read Amy's question?
Yep, I sure do. There we go. Here's the link. And it's doubled master die. Copy. And there, you'll see it right here. He spells out the 1972 in particular. This one fools everybody.
Yeah.
And there, the article is in the chat. There.
So Amy's question was, isn't master die doubling the same as hub doubling?
Nope. Nope. It's the same idea. Okay, hub doubling. Let's see.
It's true double
If I
die.
can see my bit over here. Scope. Oh, there we go. Okay. I need a piece of paper. Good thing I got some here. They start with a Galvano. It's about the size of a dinner plate, several inches across. And from the Galvano is created the master hub. There's a Galvano is right up here. And that's got, you know, here's Lincoln and his vest. Right, and there's the date and Liberty up here and In God We Trust. Okay. And this is, you know, that big around. I mean, it's like a Frisbee. And then there's a thing called the transcription lathe, which is going to move this design down to the size of a die, which we have right here. Okay, that would be, no, that's a dime. That's a cent, but it's effectively, it's similar in shape, and it's going to be this big. And this is going to create this piece, which is the master hub. So you got 2 levels. You got the masters and you got the workers. The master hub is the first one created. Okay, that is hubbed into the master die. All right, they just press it right in. There's a die. And then the master die is pressed into the working hub. So this one, the hub, is going to be raised up just like your regular Lincoln. It's going to have a profile to it. All right, whereas the die over here is going to be sunk in. This looks just like a penny. It's like putting a penny right on top. Give me a penny. Right on top of that die. That's what a hub looks like. All right, whereas the die is depressed, is inverted. Okay, so master hub, master die, then working hub. And that produces the working die. When this hub, this working hub, is pressed into the working die, right, repeatedly, that's where you have doubling. That's where you have a hub doubled coin, which would be something like this, where, well, it's going to be hard to see. Now, this is a class 1 is what that is. And this is what results in making your coin. And if you've got doubling here on your coin, it could be doubling anywhere up here. There are doubled working hubs where the master die was pressed into the working hub repeatedly. That's a common one. You'll see that. The further upstream you go, the more coins are going to be produced, because the master hub, here's a master hub, produces, you know, all your working dies. Nope, all your master dies. Your master dies, each one of them is going to produce several working hubs. And each one of these is going to produce several working dies, whole bunches of them. This is why they got one galvano and they're able to multiply it repeatedly, right? So the die wears out, they kill it off and use the next one. When that wears out, they kill it off, use the next one. They go through all those, they make some more from the next master die, master hub. Oh, I need another layer in here. That's a working hub and working die. Yeah, that's how it is. They do records the same way. It's a way of multiplying the design and keeping it sharp without you know, having to do it every single time off the galvano. There it is. So what you got is a master.
What's a record?
Pardon?
What's a record?
No, shut up.
That's a galvano. That's the big record. Record. It's a vinyl. They get music. It's from the 70s. Don't worry about it. It's a 70s.
You spin me round, record baby, record baby.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a sloppy way to show it, but that's the way it works. One part duplicates many more, and you've got several steps from hub to die, and finally to the coin. And that working die, that's the one you want the doubling on, because if it's a working hub, you're going to have billions of them. Every one of these makes an average of 100,000 to 250,000 coins, right? So if you have if you have working hub doubling, right, that's going to create however many dies, and you would have, you know, a couple of million. You'd have, I can't read that. You'd have millions. Right? If you got a master die doubling, it could be, you know, a quarter of all specimens. That's what you have with the 1972. Life is like an 8-track.
Thank you, Ken. That was very enlightening, actually. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, but the working die, when that's hubbed repeatedly, that's the one you want, because that's going to produce the fewest copies on the finished coins. You're going to have the fewest number on the coins, which is why those are so collectible.
When you hear people talk about, if you ask a question about a coin and they'll say, no, that's not true hub doubling. That's when they're telling you it's not a doubled die. A doubled die is a hub double. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. I just ate the most wonderful dinner and I still can't talk now. It was so good.
Stephen Jones says, you should be a teacher, man. Well, he is. He has the best coin classes. Just go to Ken Peavy's YouTube channel and find coin classes and put it on and learn all night long.
Yep. Professor Peavy.
Yeah, we do it.
He also asks, why am I learning after school? And that, well, hey, because it's interesting.
Hey, thing. See, that's a hub right there. It's raised. The design is raised above the field. Right? If I drag my finger across it, I get stopped. The die is infused into the design. Right? So when I press my die into a planchet, it's going to leave raised devices. Aha. See how this is raised? Just like the hub. The hub and the hub and the coin, they look almost identical, except that this is, 2 inches tall. Right? If I press a hub into a coin, I'm going to leave infuse design. Now that's not a coin, but this is how you make the die. You hub it, is what it's called.
Mhm.
You hub it with a hub.
Hubba hubba.
This is so Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss.
Sushi.
Seuss-like. Okay, let's pretend this is the die, and I'm going to press the hub into the die. Now, typically they press it in, and then they would pull it out, right? And then press it again to make sure you get a good, sharp strike in that design. And life is good when you do it. But wait, if you slip just a little bit, if something moves, you're going to get this little bit of doubling. If you look at the bottoms of those letters. Now, it can be a bit more extreme. And let me give you a better example of more extreme, right? I'm going to hub it into the die. I'm going to pull it out. And now I'm going to turn it and press it in again. Now, what happens now? Now, if I didn't press too hard, I'm going to see two designs, and every single coin produced by this die is going to show exactly that same pattern on the coin. That's what's going on with a doubled die. Right? So all the metal from all the planchets is going to get squeezed into those designs, and you get doubling. And there's different ways these things can be doubled. This is kind of neat. Wait till you get to this one, huh?
And they're named after the source of the doubling.
There you go. For example, this would be a rotated die where I hub it, right? And then the die or the hub is rotated some amount. And it can be clockwise or counterclockwise. And that's what that would, and that has a certain style, a certain design. Sometimes they'll hub it, right? Then they'll take the die, put it over there in the oven, warm it up, and bring it back. Right? But when metal is heated, it grows, it expands. It's called thermal expansion. And then they'll hub it a second time. But this thing, well, it grew and didn't shrink back. So now you have another type of doubling. And it's another type of hub doubling. There are several. Sometimes, oh, this is a great one. You have the class 3, right? Where I'm going to hub this coin with, say, a 1960 large date hub, right? Take it away, bring it back, and I'm going to hub it again. But they changed the hub, and now it's a small date. So I have a large date over small date. Go figure that one out. Those are few and far between because not a lot of different design changes in the middle of the process. These things happen. It can be shifted. It can be, bounce around. It can be tilted. On the new ones, they have a single squeeze era. And this is what a die would look like before it's being hubbed. And they just drive a hub right into that die, and it goes squish, right? But sometimes, because the forces involved, it starts to get in there, and it kind of realigns. This thing comes in at a tilt and realigns, and you have what's called a tilted hub doubling. I'll try that one out. There are so many ways that you can, only so many ways you can screw these things up when you're making them. And they've got 9 different classes that have been identified. But if you understand the process of how they're made, you can better identify it on the coin and what to look for and where to look for it. I've got a couple of coins right here I can show you if you like. Oh, let me drop them all over the place. This is a tilted hub, and what it makes. Here we go.
I would love to clean your floors, man.
Oh, this stuff all over there. Good Lord. Okay, and that tilted hub, what you get is a little tiny bit of doubling. You'll see this on the quarters, right? Let's say the Harper's Ferry. There's several designs that Chris has identified as new discoveries. And you get this little tiny bit of extra metal. That's all it is. This bit beside his knee, right beside the column, is a doubled column. It's because when the die was produced, and this is the working die, when it was hubbed, that hub came in at a slight angle and started to make a design, and then snapped. So it kind of changed where it was impacting the die and left that extra bit of metal. It left an extra impression in the die that was not obliterated by further pressing of the hub. Well, I hope we cleared that up. Honestly, watch this video like 6 more times, and that'll help you. That'll help you learn the process. But it's involved, and it's been proven to be effective, and it makes it possible to start with a single design and multiply it until you have enough dies to make all the coins. Hey, look, if one of these working dies is making 250,000 coins, but you're putting out 6 billion coins, how many working dies do you need? Several thousand. That is a lot of dies out there.
Coins for Amateurs has a question there.
Are master dies used at multiple mints? The 1972, right? The master hub was produced in Philadelphia, no mint mark on it, right? And that produced master dies, right? Now the master dies were sent off to wherever. No, the master dies make the working hub. And these went out to the various mints. So San Francisco, Denver, all draw their design off of the master die that was doubled, which is why you have the same master die doubling on 1972 D, P, S, even the proofs. The proof design is drawn from here. They polish that die. They do have a sharper strike on there, and it's the way they produce the coin, and the planchet itself is treated differently and special and polished and stuff. It all comes back from it all comes back from here, and everything downstream is going to show those exact same features.
Very cool.
And they say, "Why are you playing with Play-Doh?"
We do have another email. We got lots of emails that came in, so thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. The next one is another one from. Let's see. This one's from Forrest. Yeah, this is from Forrest. All right, let me zoom to the email. He says, I have 3 more 1950 to 1959 errors like this. Let me go solo here. This is the best condition one I have. 1956D DDO double chin. I really love this one, and it is in excellent shape. Some bag marks, but definitely BU. Hope you're having a great day and happy hunting. Let's see. All right, so I do want to tell you it's doubled. Like when you say it's something is double die, there's a D on the end of doubled. Just I'm being nitpicky. Anyway, let's take a look at your coin.
This is a classic case of machine doubling.
Yep. Something mechanical happened in the process. Some machines can vibrate, screws can come loose, things can happen to cause shifting of the machinery in the process. It's not from a doubled die. It's from chatter and movement within the system creating the coins. That's different, and it's very common and not the valuable kind of doubling.
What you got here is a flat field. There's no extra metal. There's no expansion. What's happening? I really got to get a better tool to show mechanical doubling. You're going to be tricked on this one all the time until you get your head around it. Perhaps I need a brighter color of Play-Doh. Let's see. I get yellow here. It's the die is bouncing is what's going on. There we go. I got a flat one here. Kind of. I think we can probably see it on there. The die is bouncing. The design has been pressed into it, right? You've already created your design You got Lincoln's head on there. There we go. And they keep on doing them. They're making a lot of these. But what's happening is the die itself is impacting it, just kind of bouncing because it's moving so fast, and it's impacting the existing design. So what's hitting it first is going to be this flat field because it's not hitting in exactly the same spot. So this flat field is hitting the design, and what you're going to see, there's not enough force to drive it all the way down and make it a second strike. It's just going to give it a little kiss. There we go. We got some on the side of that J, down at the bottom. All right. It's not wider. It hasn't been done by a doubled die. It's just squishing what's already in place, and you see it right on there. So it's going to be flat shelf-like doubling with no additional thickness. Let's see. If I put that right there, I might just see how flat it is. Here, look, I can bend it down. Okay, I got to work on that and get a better example. But you're going to encounter mechanical doubling on lots of coins. A lot of times you pick up that loop for the first time, and every third coin you say, hey, here's another doubled die. We'll work on that. I've got a better video that explains that more thoroughly. It is the bane of the new collector.
Yep. All right, Forrest sent another set of coins, and with this email, it says 1953p DDO. You can clearly see the doubling in 53 and very pronounced in God doubling. So let's now take a look at this one.
You're gonna hate me.
Deterioration.
Another bane to new collectors' existence.
Yeah. The three things you're going to find most commonly are going to be damage, machine doubling, and what you have here is die deterioration.
I was muted. I was talking to you guys. Oh well.
Yeah.
So die deterioration, in terms of, at least from a die progression and trend standpoint, these dies were used. What is this? This is what, a 53. So these early to mid 50s, these dies were overused. Let's just put it that way. So these dies wear down, and they wear down. And if you think about the forces that are used to strike these coins, these dies wear down. And what's going to happen is when there's two dies come down and strike that planchet, that metal's going to flow outward. So in terms from a physics and force standpoint, that metal's going to go out towards the rim. So you're going to see your die deterioration go out towards the rim.
Look at those little horns. I'll keep talking about the little horn.
Yep. So what's happening is in that small indent of the die in those devices, that force is going to push out towards the rim in those areas. So that area of that design is going to get weak in that area, and that metal is going to be able to flow into those small weaknesses, and it's going to continue to happen and happen and happen. And these 50s wheat cents are plagued with this intensively. You can see it's going out towards the rim. Think of that strike as, sun rays going out towards the edge.
Now, a great indicator on the die deterioration is the amount of relief you're going to see on the coin.
Yeah.
I can draw a picture here and explain it better. Okay, right here. The metal's flowing in, right, and it flows out. That's the way it goes. The rim is over here. This is going to be the rim of the coin. All right, there we go. It's metal on metal. It's really abrasive. It's abusive. This is why you only get 100 to 200,000 strikes on the die, because they wear right out. But what happens right in here? And it could be on the leading or the trailing edges. You get this wear where it just starts to, rub it and wear it off. And it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and longer and longer. But it's kind of neat because it mirrors the design, right? And you're always going to see one, right? There's part one, is radial flow lines. You're going to see the doubling comes out from the center of the coin outward in all directions. right? Up here in the letters, say on the T, a lot of times you'll see little horns because the way the metal flows in and out. But on the side of the letters, it's a different speed, and you get little horns. Over here on, say, the 5 or 3s, you get this effect. And I got a way to cut that somewhere. I'll just wait. Oh, wait, no. Wait a minute. I need to give me a knife. What's this? This will work. And there's no relief, right? The depth on that is the 5, but this little bit here, there's no relief. And if I cut this somehow with a piece of paper and show you the edge on, look, there it is. This looks exactly like what you see here. And it's just this little, just a little flat extra bit is all it is. Dye wear.
Who would have thought you could cut Play-Doh with a piece of paper?
Well, I needed it right now, and that's what
The things we learn on this show, I'm telling you.
Hey, Vern. All right. Thank you for my package, Vern, by the way. That was beautiful. Family loves it.
What did you get?
Oh, I got some beautiful rocks and shell bracelet for my daughter and wife, and just gorgeous. I was all excited. You believe this? This is beautiful. Adds this beauty to my collection. Gorgeous. Thank you, Vern.
You collect rocks too, Shay?
I collected rocks for a while, and I have hundreds. Right now, they're sitting in a box because I have no way to display them decently. But hey,
Shay, posted a picture up on the Facebook Q&A group. I think on the Q&A group. She didn't send it to the email. So if you or Ken could, when we get around to it.
Oh, sure. Here, I'll show a little something from Chris. Chris cherry picked something here. Let me switch over to.
I got the coin I'm showing under my microscope. I got from Christopher Rhodes. That was not a find of mine.
So Chris Rhodes cherry picked this beauty right here.
There it is.
All right, I'm leaving. I've had enough.
What does it say?
Just enough of this torture now.
The Earl B.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. I owe ya.
Sorry, I had to do
You're
it.
Not sorry, don't lie.
I'm still gonna look for one for you, but I got so lucky to find this one. This was.
I know. I looked around here, and we had none. So.
Hey, Shay, you want to give me the focus for a second here?
Sure.
It's funny too because last year I went to all the Dollar Trees and the dollar stores, and I scooped up a ton of those Matchbox cards to put in my bank's Toys for Tots bin thing. Never even thought to look for that, but
yeah, you probably gave one of those away.
I probably gave a lot away. Oh well.
So on this 55, in terms of dye deterioration, you see how you have this weakness all along the rim, all along, down on the L. Weakness. It's the same thing that appears on that 53 you have. 55, you can see it. It's called the poor man's double dye, which infuriates me. It's dye wearing deterioration. All in this area. It comes out radially. Up in God We Trust, you can see how it's all mushy up above in God We Trust. Just dye wear.
I want to show Shay I collect paper and scissors.
It's another one. You have the horns on the T. The top of the U starts really extending towards the rim. Horns on the top of that T. Top of the O, D. Same thing. Another good indication is if you find a lot of them, odds are it's not what you want it to be.
That was a great explanation. The only thing that could have made it better is if you were wearing your cowboy hat.
Well, you can't see. You can't see it.
Show off. Cherry pick of the week.
Almost time. Let me show Cindy's, and we'll go into an intermission here.
Oh, good. Then I can take a break because I didn't cherry pick nothing. I have nothing to show. I had to buy my cherry pick. I bought my cherry pick. Oh, it's a clover.
She says, "Is this damage or a lamb? Either way, it's cool looking."
The
Looks like
chin
lamb.
looks like a lamb.
Thanks.
Lambda.
Looks like a lamb to me. The biggest indication is how it runs up over the chin like that.
Mm-hmm. But that is cool. It almost looks like he's like getting ready to eat a flower or something.
Yeah.
Is that by chance a wartime nickel?
Probably. Yeah, you can see it all the way up too. All the way up. Follow that line. Yep. It doesn't say what date.
No.
Lamination. My biggest pickup on lamination is ragged terminal edges.
60. Cindy said 60.
60.
Cool.
Very cool.
I think I got a ears too big.
What?
I was trying to draw a lamb and I just totally failed.
You were drawing like a Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Little lamination. Looks more like a rabbit bunny.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of emails in the queue. We got like 9 emails, but let's take a short intermission here to talk about some stuff.
I'll be.
Hey, Vern.
So let's just show, instead of just cherry pick, whatever your find. It's either your find of the week for yourself or a cherry pick for the week. Definitely. Let's show it. Who wants to go first?
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, here you go. I got something I found. I'll show it first.
I know Ken got a good one too.
I got a Harper's Ferry. I showed this the other day. Let me zoom in on this one.
Ooh, it looks like a good one.
It's 002.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 004.
Well,
I shouldn't have did that. Oh no.
You want me to show you 004? I got one right here because I found
an 004?
I did.
Ooh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I found them both in one box. I'm like, woo!
Great. I love those Harper's Ferry quarters, man.
I also found, let's see, I found a oh no, that was it for the Harper's Ferry. But I got a Wyoming DDR as well and a Minnesota, but I think I showed the Minnesota the last time. Let me get the Wyoming.
Is that the extra tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice one. I like that one too.
Yeah, here is the Wyoming.
You didn't like card that and put it away yet?
There it is.
No, I got the labels made. I just need a print. I didn't have enough, so I've got my little. These are the ones I'm flipping and labeling tonight after the show. So, we actually went through 2 $50 boxes too. I found a couple of double dies, but they were not in not in super shape. Let me pull one out. Oh, these 1980s. I found two of these that had die cracks on the T on a 1980p. Almost exactly the same. And then I think, is this the 71 double die? No. Well, it is, but this is the one. Yeah, there it is. It's got the coin rolling machine marks on it, but hey, that's all right.
I don't have one, so I got to be jealous of yours.
Right there on that one, you kind of see a little step on the serif. All right, who's up?
I wonder if anybody ever calculated the odds of a double die ending up on the end of a roll.
What's up, Movado? Yeah, right.
Sure, I'll take the focus if you want to give me it. I'll
All
show off
right.
this lamination first. You guys were talking about laminations. Here's one for you.
Now, is this something you found this week or cherry picked?
No, this was just on the top. This is a nice lamination that I had sitting on the desk. So you can see how the lamination just goes
Ooh.
across the whole coin. This is 23.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful.
So this is a coin from my reference collection. You can see how the whole coin is riddled with I call it a sheet of lamination. It's in essence what it is. Goes right across the face too. I call it the Joker.
Why so serious?
And the reverse is the same.
I wonder if you tried to break that coin in half if you could.
I'm not going to try. I always talk about with lamination, your terminal jagged edges. See how they go, twisty, turny, and they're all jagged. That's what you want to see. It's your classic indication, at least what I say for a lamination.
Yeah, Stephen Jones thinks it looks like tree bark. I agree with him. That's a nice one there, both sides. Yep, I agree with you, Stephen. Oh, here we go. Look at that, baby.
And I guess we'll get to the elephant in the room, I guess.
Oh, there it is.
So this was a snipe off of eBay. Absolutely a snipe off of eBay. So this is the 63 DDO. It's FS101 23.
Oh,
Let me get in here.
yeah, I love the T. I love the T on these. It's so awesome.
The R. Yeah, you can see how it's not shelf like. It's an additional area of raised metal.
It's wider than it should be. You got little notches up there.
Oh, you got a little challenge here.
Cindy says.
You probably did. Notches top of the T, top of the R.
You know what I like paying for stuff like this? Face value.
In a roll.
In this case, you're going to pay melt value at bare minimum, but that's what I like paying for it. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one, Jeffrey. Hats off to you, brother. Mm-hmm. Cowboy hats off to you.
So this is it's an old annex soup box is what it is. 64. So I had a gash on the forehead, and then there was some chatter in this area. Nice solid coin. Do I want to say how much you pay for yours? How much you think I paid for this?
$25.
What was that, Ken?
$14.
$14 now.
$24.
Paid $20 for it.
I'd pay $20 for that all day long.
That's good for $40 to $50 easy.
So and here's the sad part, right? What did it cost to get it graded and attributed?
I don't know. Nothing to me.
Nothing to you. So that's why, I'm not a fan of grading. I just don't know how, there's so many variables there, and whoever paid to have this graded, no doubt lost money on it.
Well, if you
Even
got
though it's an annex, unless they did one of those specials, but with the attribution on the slab, the label, I just don't know how anybody made money on that coin. I know somebody's going to make money on it somewhere down the line.
With all the environmental stuff on that coin, like the stuff, maybe they send it in for preservation. Yeah, that's it.
The doo-doo?
they lost more money.
No,
Yeah.
that's just that's the starts of that old album toning is what that is. That's not. I mean, you have some little spots here and there. There's a little water looking spots, but the rest of that's toning. That's not grime. That's not grit. You'll get that like hazy type of gray toning with those old album toning. You'll find a nice example of an album tone.
Ethan John.
Hey, Teaching John brings up a good point. Smash that like button, everybody.
So this is the classic album toning. It's on a 55 Franklin. To get that like gray, that gray type of haze toning is what I call it, at least. And sometimes you get a little bit of that rainbow coming through.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a pretty one.
Yeah.
So it's an old NGC slab. So it was slabbed at the latest 93. It's Franklin. This was before they put the barcode on it.
Can you give that some distance? You see the whole coin?
Not on here. The scope's not going to focus. But yeah, $20 all day. It's right around a $50 coin. At least that the 63 is the 63 FS 101.
You have any more you want to show?
I mean, I can find some more.
Well, I think Ken's got one up. Ken,
Yep.
you there?
Yep, I just want to check one more thing over here so I can get some numbers to back up what I'm saying.
Ooh.
Got it. Okay, let's see. Here is, here's this. Dum-da-dum. Is this a double die? All right. That's enough joking around. It is it's a nickel. There it is, just a Jefferson nickel. It's a 1954 S. But we got to get in here and have a look at that S. Okay.
Hey, look at that lamb.
It's not, that's just a little lamb. Looks like a
Mary.
here. It's a D originally, and you can see the D just still poking out. A little bit under here, you get the straight side here. That's an S that was marked over a D. So the die came from Denver and then was sent off to San Francisco, where they added their punch over the Denver mint mark punch. There it is. That's what an S over D. Now, it's more common to have a D over S because then we use so many more coins, so many more dies. Okay, so what we have here is this guy right here. That's a 1954 S, and it's FS 501 is the way it is. So let's see, FS, then 05, then 1954 S501. The short version is FS 501. Konica listed as OMM, an over mint mark. Here it is. You get the bottom of the D, and that's straight line inside, and just a little bit showing above here, right? And if you go to Konica, nope, wait, not Konica. Let's see, screen. There it is. I got to find my screen. Okay, PCGS will have this listed. It's S over D, 5 cent over mint mark, FS 501. And their old number was FS 033, but they changed the way they do their numbers. Okay, how many of these things still exist? You've got in the highest grades, 50, 53, 112 or so. There's 4 more in lower grades. And the value of this one's probably good for $20 or so. And you might have 100 assessments known between PCGS and NGC. And where'd my thingy go?
I don't know.
There it is. And that's what it looks like. You're looking for a funny looking mint mark. And this is an over mint mark, S over D.
One good thing to point out on the example shown in the cherry picker's guide, it actually also exhibits machine doubling.
Let's see if we can find that. You're going to find that over there on the right. Stop moving. You'll find that over here on the right side of that piece. This is a little bit of machine doubling where you have some flat fields. The extra mint mark is right up here. I mean, so you can see the height. Look at the height of the shadow, the thickness of the shadow compared to the thickness of the shadow on the rest of the coin. This is an indicator that this has some relief at just as high as the mint mark. But the underlying D was obliterated mostly by the S when it was punched over it. And there it is. Well, look for that one in your pocket change. You know, a lot of people have these coins. They got these folders they've had around for years and years, and they haven't looked through them to examine them closely. And this sort of thing, you could pick it up with a 10x loop.
Tools of trade. Yep.
Yeah, Shab.
Hard, yes.
Yeah, Shab, another one that came in this week. Probably some people will recognize this coin.
Flying eagle.
Flying eagle.
Anybody recognize what that is? I know
Yes.
CJ will.
You get the square insides on the O and of.
Yeah.
That's some square blocky inside that. This is a Snow 2. So what they did was on these early 57s, what they did is they took the leftover dies they had from 56. I believe there was either 5 or 6 dies they used, I believe. So yeah, these Snow 2s and some of these other Snow varieties, they're starting to become harder and harder to find in any grade whatsoever. So this is the type of stuff that Jeff has been hoarding away. Some of these Snow varieties. Yep. So this was another one that came from CJ. Right about good, but yeah, CJ 5 dies for the Snow too. Yep.
What you got over there, Paula?
This is a 1940 S Mercury dime, S over S. FS 501.
Nice one.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, one.
And then, do you want me to show the ones you sent in, Chris?
No, I found a cherry pick of the week. I just picked it up today. Right here. If you have never eaten this stuff, I mean, oh my God.
Whole
This is like heaven on earth.
Puffin corn.
Puffin corn. This is the best stuff ever.
Interesting.
But yeah, now go ahead.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember this one?
Focus.
Yes, Paula.
Oh.
Yes. So, funny story about this one when we were out at Tim Rathjen's. So Paula was just looking at coins just randomly that were just all over the place, on the floor, all over the place. She just happens to pick that up.
Wow, that's a really good one.
half of a clamshell.
I wish I had the piece.
I'd be crawling around like a crackhead on the floor looking for the rest of it.
I was crawling around like a crackhead on the floor.
Yeah, Paula was picking up so much stuff off the floor. There were just piles of gorgeous wood grain scents there. Oh my God. I couldn't contain myself. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I have a beautiful wood grain one too that I picked up. So I think it's in my book, in my dance go.
Yeah, the sad part was is I saw where Tim auctioned that. I missed it.
Oh no, it's right here. I'll show you.
Cindy,
Look away, Frank. Look away.
Yep, that one.
Pretty.
That's one of those high contrast black and white ones I like, black and tan, as Ken calls them.
Black and tan, Yingling, baby. PA proud.
I knew Chris would get that reference.
I don't know if anybody even knows what I just said.
I don't think so.
No.
But all Schuylkill County.
Yin and yang.
I think that's the only good thing that come out of Schuylkill County.
Now, hold on. I'm out of Schuylkill County, Jeffrey. Watch it there, buddy.
Yeah, that was another one that was just laying on the floor.
You guys need like cleaning lady because, you know.
I offered.
I mean, I'll even put on, forget it.
Yeah, Chris, good stuff. Good stuff.
I'll bring my feather duster.
I offered. Haven't heard back
Right.
yet.
Jeff Stanley knows what I'm talking about.
I would be fired after a day. I would not be able to keep that job.
Yeah, you actually wouldn't get any work done. You'd just be
First
picking
time
up.
you heard my pockets jingle as I was walking out the door. What? What? I hear nothing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to heading back out again.
I am too. When is it?
To Schuylkill
I don't know.
County.
When did we go
No.
last year?
What was it, April?
April?
So, Chris, I have your the email you sent from let's see, Denise Catania with the dropped letter S. Let me show you.
Ken stepped away. Ken stepped away, so we are not going to have
No, where's Ken?
What?
Well,
What?
we can-
I can talk about this coin. I study this coin all day long. I can talk about this coin. Want me to talk about it?
You go for
Yeah.
it.
Let's hear what you got to say, Paula.
So Ken showed earlier how a grease-filled die happens, and a lot of times it'll happen on just a single letter or a single device. And when it happens, it's not just grease; it's grease and gunk and dust and everything else. Well, when that gets completely filled, because remember in the dies, the letters and the devices and the numbers are all in queue, so they're sunk into the die. So they can be filled by this grease and this gunk. Well, after a while of striking and striking, coin after coin after coin, that gets super, super hardened. And sometimes that piece inside the device will fall out. And it'll fall out onto a planchette before it's been struck. When it comes into the striking chamber, that piece will fall out onto that planchette. And when that next coin is struck, that piece of debris that's there, or in this case, the shape of the letter S, which was the S in states that had been filled by that grease and gunk and that fell out, it got pressed in to the next coin that was struck, and that's called a struck through debris or a dropped letter. And that is a dropped letter. And I had an issue with this coin, not because I didn't think it looked like a dropped letter, but because of where it's placed, and because it's like went from cent to cents. It's perfect. It is so perfect. It was too perfect. So I had to study everything I could about dropped letters. And so this device, this here, is actually incuse or sunk into that coin where you're seeing it. That's one of the indicators, that, and it has to match the exact device, the exact shape and size of the device. It has to be incuse into that coin. And it is perfect. If you look at the states on the reverse, and either one of the S's, I don't know if it'll show it. I don't know if we got a picture.
And I didn't get any more.
But it matches the S in states, either one, first one or last one. Matches the shape, the size. It's a little bit larger, but it makes sense because the metal is going to be kind of pushed and smushed out. But that is a dropped letter.
And these are so cool. Wouldn't it be cool to find the coin that had the grease filled?
That's exactly the message I sent to Ken.
I mean, that would be so cool.
There has to be more than one, because that had to have been filled for a long time for it to be so perfect. And it's so, it's shallow in the coin. I know it looks like it's deep, but it's actually pretty shallow into the coin. But it's so perfect that it had to have been, that device had to have been filled for a while. And
I would imagine that, I mean, this coin here was probably struck through that dropped letter almost right after it came out. I mean, I can't see those surviving very long. That piece of debris in the shape of the S, I just can't see that, surviving long, even though it is kind of hard, but I would imagine it's also brittle.
Right.
And definitely susceptible to damage.
Right.
Okay,
I'm going to be looking at
let's get this political jargon out of the chat. That's not what this is for.
I am going to be looking at every single 69D now.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to find that grease-filled die where the one of the S's are missing.
I would too. And if any of you guys find one, looking through change and stuff, a 69D with either one of the S's and states on the reverse, like missing or you can barely see it, send us a picture, please. I would love to see it.
I'd be interested in sending, if I found one, I personally would send it to Denise to go with this coin of hers, because I think it's that cool.
Yeah. I hope she doesn't sell it, but I hope somebody sees it and it maybe ends up in like Coin Week or something like that. I would love for this to have a publishing about it.
Yeah, because these just really don't come up that often.
No, I've seen them with like the A and I've seen them with E. But this, for it to be where it's placed and makes a whole new word.
Yeah, that is cool. It adds a new, level to it.
Yeah. It's it's so perfect.
I want people to keep in mind, like if you're going through your coins and you find something that looks odd, set it aside, send us pictures, because, Denise got lucky. She found one that showed the full letter S.
Yeah, that was very cool. And, right away I look at it and, Ken taught me, from the very beginning. And so I always assume damage. So I looked at it right away and I was like, it's a counter stamp, and I really had to research it. And I, like, all day I'd been like researching drop letters and zooming in on the picture and looking at all the edges and looking at the shape of S and states. Not on that coin. I had to look on my own 69Ds and look at the shape and analyze it and everything. And as much as I wanted it to be damaged, to be honest with you, I wanted it to be, because it made more sense to me. You know, it just was so perfect. I couldn't wrap my head around it, but it's legit, you know. I asked Ken, I was like, so what, is it this? Is it, you know, why, what are the characteristics? What, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'd love to see another one with the state, with one of the S's filled and all of this stuff. I had to break myself out of that, it being damaged mindset.
Yeah.
Because I do, you know, and you know, I've talked about it before. My character is to question everything, and I would love for somebody to look at this and actually, you know, put it out there. Some type of publishing or something. Ken Potter, or, you know, I don't know if Ken Potter's seen it or not yet, but
I'm not sure. I mean, the group she shared it in has
Mike
the bunch
Diamond.
there, so
I don't know how much Mike Diamond's doing anymore, but I would love for one of them to see it, you know.
Cinderlicious just had a question. Is FG sideways in the center? I can't tell. I don't see an FG.
no, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
No, but now that you've seen that drop letter, it's making all kinds of things go through your head.
Yeah.
That's what it did to me.
I just want to touch a little bit more on one thing Paula said, and that was how this kind of happens. So we all know that you get this mint goo, which is grease and a lot of metal shavings and dirt, and it gets compressed in these devices. But another thing that's going on is heat. You're getting heat from the movement, the friction, the pressure. So you're kind of baking that mint goo and hardening it, because the mint goo is also under pressure. It's being forced into that device and pushed and condensed. So when it comes out, I mean, you kind of think, well, how can grease do that to a copper coin? By the time it comes out and does this, it's no longer grease. It's a hardened thing. I don't even know what it is at that point, but it's definitely hard. So, you know, that's how that happens, and it's really cool. This is the kind of stuff that I live for. I love this kind of stuff. So props to Denise for finding that one.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how she found it. I know somebody was asking how she found it. I am guessing.
We lost Christopher. I'm glad she posted it in the right group too, you know, and got the right feedback.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't even comment on it because it was so odd to me. I had to like research it and stuff. We lost you, Chris. We didn't hear what you said. You were giving props to Denise for.
Oh, well, props for her, because I'm pretty sure she found this one coin roll hunting. I know Denise is very active doing that.
Yeah. And
she's also a very talented artist. So look her up on Facebook, and hopefully she has some of her stuff public. She loves horses and painting horses. She does very well.
What you got going on there, Ken? You there?
Ken said in private chat he had to go.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, his brother came by. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, he probably won't be gone long. Just saying.
All right. Let's see. I did have another email pulled up. Let me make sure I'm not on mute. All right. This is from Stephen Jones. And let me.
Chris, when you talk to Denise, tell her thank you so much for letting us share that.
I will. I already did thank her, but I'll make sure she knows everybody says thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like Steven's got a 87 mint set here. No questions.
Philadelphia and Denver. Okay.
Pretty.
Yeah, that's a good looking coin right there. Semi-key date.
You know, it's actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shay, but it's more common to find those 87 proofs coin roll hunting than it is to find the uncirculated.
I don't know.
Business strikes.
I find more of the business strikes.
I
But
find more of the proofs.
really? Because I think for every 6 or 8 of the business strike, I find 2 proofs maybe.
Of the 87s?
Yeah.
Really? I think I've found 1 business strike and the rest have been proofs. Like 4 or 5.
I think I filled up a couple of tubes with the business strike ones.
What's the mintages on those?
Oh, it's pretty low. I think like 2 million or something, or 1.8 million, but let me check real quick.
From every mint?
Let me check.
We might as well talk about him since he's sending pictures of them in.
Right. 1987. Let's see how far off I was. Okay, 87p, 2.8 million. Actually, that was 87p and 87d together were 2.89.
Oh, it is low mintage. What about the S?
The S is 4 million.
Wow.
So just for comparison's sake, what is 1988?
1988 was 13 million. 13.
So there were quite a bit.
That's just P. So 26 million between the P and the D. So yeah.
There were quite a bit more proofs minted than the business strikes.
Yeah.
Almost double.
But
I like finding them. I like finding the 87.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
What, Chris? I heard but.
I did too. Oh, he's frozen.
Oh man.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go.
But you were
But-
saying-
I don't think that equates to finding more proofs in circulation, though.
you mean the higher mintage?
Being the higher mintage, because you got to think a lot of the proofs are in proof sets, and yeah, some get thrown in circulation, some make their way there somehow, but I just don't think you can look at.
Yep. But the mint sets were the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
we had 2.8 million mint sets. Well, all right. So let's see. I had a kind of a silly question, and that and it was what was the boneheaded thing I did this week in coin roll hunting? Or
Well, I have nothing there either. You picked 2 things that I have not coin roll hunted in a long since when they first got here. I got a box of halves, a box of nickels, and a box of pennies, and we've been so busy that I haven't. That was the last boxes I got, so it's been like a month. So I have no. Well, that would be my bonehead thing. I didn't get any.
didn't get anything. Huh?
It's pretty boneheaded.
My boneheaded thing is I went to work every day and didn't have time to coin roll hunt because I got lots of it here. I got plenty of it. My wife bought something off me. I can't remember what it is, and basically she rolled her change and gave that to me as payment, and that's sitting there.
Wait.
I got
Just really
You
say
know what that was? He froze. Yes,
He froze. Yeah, he's in trouble.
What would a wife buy off of a husband?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to catch and pull out of here. You said his wife.
What happened here?
Off of,
What happened here? My wife
We
tried to
went to
strangle me a
You
second
went to
ago.
a bad place.
Help. What? I don't even know what you heard. You know, this
You
computer.
heard your wife bought something from you.
She owed me money for some reason or bought something from me. I can't remember, but she paid
That's
me.
what we want to know. The bought something from you part.
Yeah. What?
It's just, you make her buy all the coins from you? Like,
Is that
trying to-
normal? Does she always buy things from you? Like, are you not in a community property?
Oh boy,
froze
he
again.
froze again.
With a great facial expression.
I know. He always does this.
It's like,
Community property state.
You know what, Paul? Quit putting me on the spot. Huh? Look what I got. Huh?
Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm gonna keep
Oh, gotta be quicker than that.
hi, SJ.
Anyway, my boneheaded thing was not coin roll hunting because I have hundreds of dollars worth of change rolled up just waiting for me to play with it. And I haven't.
Oh, that Jeff, man, that's exactly what I did. I was looking at and
Oh,
kind of a minor doubled die, and I set it down, and the wife came in, and I tossed it back in the bucket, not even thinking. I was distracted, and there was just no way I was going to go find it. So I keep the bucket under the desk so I can scrape off all the coins into the bucket. But I had kept it just a little too close. And I've learned not to do that because I drop coins in and I try to find them and I can't. And so anyway, yeah, that was my boneheaded thing this week. But that's not too bad. I guess if I really wanted it, I could have found it.
did Ken not know that he could like leave the studio?
Maybe he planned on coming back.
I think if his brother's there, he's not gonna be long.
Jeff, I got to tell you, the same thing happened to me many, many times, man. I don't know how many times, you kind of get in the zone and you're digging through stuff and you put this pile here and that pile there, and then you throw your dumps in and you're like, oh, crap. And then you're digging through all the stuff you went through already, trying to find it again. Been there, man, many times. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, my worst thing is putting things into flips and not labeling them.
Yeah, that's no good.
Once down the road, I have to go through all of those and figure out what the heck they were.
Somebody said something earlier. I think it was also Jeff when we were talking about cherry picking, and he said he cherry.
Shay, that didn't sound good, Shay. That sound good. Oh, the bonehead thing is number 2 for the week.
Bonehead thing.
What happened?
I picked up a container that was holding 3 things back because I was going to go, why did I do this? These are serves. These are fines. And look, I even have some on top.
Oh no.
When I moved it, it made all those other things slide, and it knocked all my nice $50 that I was going to flip off the table onto the ground.
Oh, come on, Shay.
Hey,
Shay has a little part of Shay just died right there.
This is why I created this segment. What boneheaded thing can I do this week?
I almost just did a boneheaded thing on camera. So let's not try that again. Now, I want to show you guys these things. I don't know if you guys have like Dollar Trees wherever you are. I think they're all over the country. But, man, I've been finding drawers up there. These are little tiny drawers. They look like those I forget the name brand of things, but these are mini ones. And I bought a bunch of them. They come in stacks of 2, but you can actually take them apart and stick them together. And I super glued them together in stacks of 4. So I got a bunch of these, and I got them all labeled. Like this one is Class 9 DDRs on the bottom. I mean, this thing's almost full because I find them all the time.
Yeah.
And then I got S mints. Who doesn't save S mints, right? Even the most seasoned collectors still put these aside. I got 2009s. And, of course, I checked those for double dies. I checked those for the bronze composition. And I got toners up top. I got...
And froze. Frank said he saw one of his Indian head cents get sucked into a coin star once.
So he's got coins in his drawers. Can we say
He has
that?
coins in his drawers.
Yeah, my internet is up on, I have like a 4-story house. I'm down in the basement. My internet's up on the 3rd floor, which is kind of the 2nd floor because I'm in the basement. But anyway, I'm too far away.
I only have 4 floors, so.
Well, that includes the basement.
Just mess with you. I've got 16 floors. All right.
Yeah, it's one of those houses. You ever see those houses in New York? They're like 3 feet wide and 4 stories high. That's
Yeah,
like,
they have those in San Francisco.
Yes.
They have those in San Francisco. Those little skinny.
yeah. I can put my arms out and touch both walls at the same time.
Oh, and all right. Let's get to another set of emails because they're coming in.
Frank, what stuff? 10 on orange.
We got something from Silverman here. A lot of email from Silverman.
DJ has me beat for some reason. I'm curious as to what it is. Chris has a triple decker. Yeah, I do.
I would never own a home where I had to vacuum that many stairs.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Silverman, you're sending me these HEIC pictures again. I can't load them. Let me see if I can find some that are not HEIC.
What is HEIC?
I have no idea, but I can't load them.
Whatever file format they are. I haven't heard of it.
Well, you guys send in BMP, JPEGs, SVG. I mean, any format but HEIC, apparently.
Shay, the computer master, can't figure HEIC out.
I can
I'm really curious, though.
I'm going to load something from CJ, and then I'm going to go back. While we're talking about that, I'm going to go back to Coin Junkie AG's email and grab all his stuff because he sent a couple that are embedded in Google. So I got to go get that.
Okay, now I'm going to have to go to the 99-cent store. I already know there's no Brinks trucks there, but maybe I can score those little drawers.
I've got a Family Dollar store like 200 yards away from my house, so
I would be there all the time.
I've never been to one.
I love the dollar store. They have the best like glasses, like wine glasses and drinking glasses, and everything's $1.
So I prefer to shop at Target.
Target.
God.
I like Target too.
Yo, let me put this out there right now. If I was single, I could literally live off of the Dollar Tree. I probably wouldn't live very long, but I could live off of that.
You get some good. Is that where you got those cheesy, yummy goodness things?
Oh, yeah, I bought them there. I got this little mini garbage can thing I showed you before there, which I think
love that. I love
cool.
that.
I mean, it has wheels on it and everything, man. It's so cool.
It's the coolest thing ever.
I want to take this thing out on garbage night just to play with it.
Oh, the garbage can.
But
Yeah,
you know
man.
what? You know what I put in here? I put in my junk coins like machine doubling and the weird stuff. That's what I put in there.
Man, Chris's wife's been telling him to take out the trash, and he says he's been doing it. But man, does that trash still sit there?
Oh,
I
no.
would die to see the look on the garbage men's faces. You took that up and put it on the street. Oh my God.
The internet keeps cutting out. She turns it off and she smacks me.
That's fantastic.
I'm pretty sure the garbage man would empty that for him.
Your neighbors see you out there like rolling a little thing down the driveway. Oh my!
That'd be a funny comedy skit, that's for sure.
My garbage men don't even get out of their truck, man. They have this thing that grabs the garbage can and it goes really quick, and the garbage flies over the garbage truck and lands across the street. It's really cool.
We lost Shay.
Behind the bushes and put that thing out there and film what they do when they see that.
Oh my God, I would die.
Well, I'm not going to do it to this one. Maybe I'll get one of the other ones they have. They're like a pink one. I
could get one of those and like go out there in my robe and wait for them and have it at the top of my driveway and go, could you fellas help me with this? It's a little heavy.
All right.
They'll get out of their trucks. And
CJ didn't send a subject on this. He just sent it.
no.
I like Frank's idea. Make an animated GIF of all the frozen frames and call it Faces of Chris. Oh my God!
Is there an obverse picture on this? Or?
No, just one.
Looks like another lamination.
That's what I'm saying. Preliminarily, it looks like a lamination, but yeah, I think it's lamination.
All right, so it's going to take me a little longer to get all of Coin Junkie AG's photos. Let's talk.
But it's his UFO this week. I think it's a lamination. I'd like to get in closer.
Yeah, I'm not completely kicked on lamination. I'm not.
I was actually leaning towards damage until I saw like.
If you look down,
see.
The linear pattern of it is what I'm looking at going down. But I'd like to see it in closer.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
Who's the person that makes those moving GIFs? Is that Ken? Is Ken the one that does that?
I don't know.
Jeffrey, that would be awesome for you to use for your die progression thing.
Can you go down, little Shay, like towards scent?
Chris, I already have them. I have GIFs set up for him.
I knew it. I should have known.
Yeah. Most of that works. Most of that work's done.
I'm going to make one with you in your different cowboy hats.
There's only been one. So it's going to be a static image.
I can't make a call on that. I lost my light.
My issue is like most cowboy hats don't fit my head.
Yeah, I know.
I got a big head. God bless my mother.
And feet.
Got to get yourself a Stetson, son.
Got huge feet and a huge head.
You know what they say about guys with big feet?
Big shoes.
Men, big socks.
Big socks. I hear clicking. Click, click, click.
Yeah. There's a lot of clicking going on, man. Coin Junkie.
Eye on the obverse that he can't match. CJ said there's doubling on the eye on the obverse that he can't match.
Hi, Miss Green Thumb.
I don't know. I can't make a call on that one though. I would assume damage first, but
okay. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, did y'all see, everybody know that this is the next W quarter that's going out? November 4th?
mm-hmm.
Yes, I want it.
Dude, I can't even find the P's, man.
Ken and I were talking about how, you want to look in this, you want to look at the top of the boat and around the tree, right in the center of the coin, and maybe they'll come out with some, maybe we'll have some double dies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, supposedly there's a larger distribution area this time too on those. So we'll see.
You have to say these quarters, there's been two quarters I've really, really liked the design of this one and then Guam quarter.
I'm
think
really liking the word wilderness since it's raised. I really like that. I think there's some potential there too.
Yeah.
Coin junkies apologizing.
Yeah, you could get some nice clashing.
Why is Coin apologizing? Not only is he working, but he's also making time for us. So we should be thanking you, man.
And he's sending some amazing pictures. So
yeah, die chip.
He must have a really hard job. That's all I know.
CJ said there's going to be dye chips all over. He's going to name it Snowy Forest. CJ's already named the dye chips. Snowy Forest.
That is a nice design, though.
It is. It reminds me of here where I live.
Ken already labeled it Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, I have to say these the silver proofs look really, really good in these. The proofs, really impressed by them with these better designs that the U.S. Mint has made.
You have the rocks in the river. That drift boat would be hash.
I really like how the U.S. Mint's actually trying with designs for once.
So D. Reese has a question. So back to grading for a perfect strike with no marks, but the rim is not even. How much does that affect the grade?
A lot.
So the question is confusing. I'm assuming we're talking about maybe something like a misaligned die or an off-center, maybe slightly off-center strike.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think that would affect the grade.
It does.
It does. Yeah, center
Really?
is actually part of the grading, and it actually you'll see several like MS69s that miss 70 because they were not perfectly centered.
Wow, that's
Yes.
hard.
Yes, in terms of even especially on your business strike, if that strike's not dead center on that coin is not going to get above a 66.
Mm-mm.
It could be a perfect coin, but that strike is not square and even on that coin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a perfect coin if it's not squarely struck on that coin on the planchet.
All righty. So so these came from Coin Junkie AG, and it's a little bit of a reader. Happy Thursday. For this week, I've included 2 more Kennedys and was wondering if you could explain how design spreading on doubled die varieties show on only some parts of the design and not all. Follow-up is, do you think there's tripling on the U and we on the 64D? He says, I know I said I was laying off the pennies, but could not resist and shared another penny. So we'll look at one of those as well. But let's take a look at these Kennedys. And the question.
So Wexler's site has a great section about double dies that explains the different classes. Learning the classes of the double dies will explain a lot about why some coins show doubling in some areas and not in others. So go to, in fact, I'll get it up for you.
So this one here is so tricky because I see a combination of true hub doubling as well as some machine doubling, possibly some die deterioration.
Yeah.
So this one's got a lot going on for it. And this one, you need to take your time when you're looking at something like this because there's so much going on.
Yeah, because the dies are doubled and you have a true double die doesn't mean you're not going to still have the same mechanical issues and machine issues.
Yeah, they're still susceptible to the same issues any other die is.
So I'm going to post this link in chat. And actually, if you scroll down towards the bottom, it has listed the different. I have to photograph it. It didn't grab it. It has listed the different. I think Wexler still only has 8 classes listed. There's actually 9 now with the single squeeze.
Yeah, John has some sort of debate going on about the class 9. But I believe Chuck is the one who pretty much introduced the 9th class of doubling there. At least suggested that it was different from something else.
Yeah, the class 9 is a shifted hub doubling. Why, what the heck? It's bringing up, there we go.
Yeah, if we go back to trust, Shay, you can't deny that. I mean, that one has some really strong doubling on trust.
Okay, there you go.
Specifically the
Right,
U, the S.
What was the question on this coin? I missed it.
Oh, just can you explain how the designs on the double die varieties show only in some parts of the design and not all? And then if you think there's on the U and we on the 64D, I think there's quadruple.
I think, Paula, you were answering that question.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So the best, it's so hard to explain. If you go to that link that Paula shared in the comments and just read through each class of doubling, and it gives a good explanation on how each class is made and what to look for.
Right.
And the funny thing is, machine doubling is kind of the same way. You can have machine doubling on some devices, but not on others.
Well, the class 5s with the pivoting hub doubling, it depends on where that pivot point is when they're hubbing the die, where that design will be doubled. So that's one example where you, like on the 95s, where you get it in some areas, and then on the other side of the coin, there's nothing, like on the date. So on the you'll see it on Liberty, then In God We Trust, and as you go around the coin, you stop seeing it.
Look who's back.
Yeah, my brother, they're going up to the music park. I'll probably go up and join them a little later, go raise a little, get a little rambunctious. But your class 5 is a pivoted hub, but it's on a point, right? Your class 1 is rotated around the center.
Right.
But think what would happen to your coin if the die pivoted around a point. Now it's not gonna swing wildly. It's just gonna swing a little bit, all right? But if you go opposite the point of the pivot, or the pivot point, that's where the strongest doubling is going to be, is over here, because it is an angular thing. There you go. So a little bit of a little nudge is going to end up with maximum separation across from it. So a lot of times, if it's showing up on In God We on a $50, your pivot point will be up here at 10 o'clock. And all that happened was that die shifted just a skosh, just a little bit. That's enough to separate notches, to give you some heavy doubling on some of these coins. And you'd see it over here, but you wouldn't see it as much over there, and almost none over here, because of the way that die just pivots. That would be a class 5 double die. Try that one out. Different things happen. But there's only so many ways you can mess up these dies.
So he had wanted to know if there was tripling on the U, and yeah, I think you have tripling on the U and the we. on this 64D. Yep.
I don't see it right now.
Oh, let me take you off. There we go. Thank you.
Where were you at, Deputy?
Yeah.
I'm dozing off. My bad. Sleeping on the job, I guess.
Hours, man.
Oh, wow.
Yep. All right. He also sent some pennies in. Let me take a look at those. Where did they go? Where did they go? Ah,
Oh, Shay lost them.
1963D. The question on these were,
Ooh, I see it already.
do you believe this to be EDS or MDS? As I could see part of the lower design.
What's he asking?
The die state. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mid to late.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of radial flow lines there. But honestly, who cares? This is an awesome double die, man.
Look at the center of that 3.
That's one of my favorites. I love that one. I own a nice high-grade example of this, courtesy of Mr. Chuck Daughtry. But beautiful coin. Love it.
Very nice, Coin Junkie AG. Thank you for sending us such great pics.
Bye, Linda.
Oh, is Linda leaving? Oh, bye, Linda.
Bye, Linda.
Have fun, kids. She says.
Must have been talking to you.
I ain't no kid.
I am. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a kid.
Linda, make sure you're here next week. It's going to be a very special show.
Okay. Can I talk about it?
No,
Why?
special. It's a surprise. Well, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So next week, I will be hosting the Q&A next week, and there's going to be I just found out, I just got confirmation on this. I'm going to have a special guest panelist. You want to tell them who it's going to be, Ken?
You can probably go ahead, take the honors. I'll just hint at it.
Okay, hint. Give him a hint.
Okay, show me. Who would be coming to a show about coins, about coin varieties? Huh.
Mr. Bauer?
No, not David. He's up there in New York and real busy and
First name on that.
100 years old. Tell him, Paula.
Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, 5
Oh, boy.
He's an approachable fellow. You can talk to him. He's a good guy. He likes to talk about coins.
I just peed myself a little.
Get your questions ready. But we have effectively a coin celebrity coming to the channel.
And we have our very own little Trey to thank for that, because he just joined a coin club, and Bill is on the board of Trey's coin club.
Very cool.
And Trey talked to him for me today.
Yeah, that's numismatic picker now. Go to bed, numismatic picker.
I'm so
excited.
Way to go, Trey. Don't listen to them.
So many questions already.
I
God,
know.
when to start? Is there going to be another cherry picker's guide?
And my cheeks hurt.
3. Can you print more?
My cheeks hurt so
You
bad.
my question: put double die 1, 2, 3, and 5 and 6. What happened to 4?
Where's 4?
Do you have all of these coins?
Yeah.
Can we touch you?
Easy now, Ken. Easy.
Now, I will ask nicely, but I do want to ask him to please explain a little bit further in the book about 1988 wide AM?
Ooh, that'd be a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Write your questions down. Write them down. I'm
the same.
so excited about this. So the thing is, though, I'm not sure Trey's going to talk to him, and maybe Trey can have him get a hold of me. I'm not sure what day he'll be able to do it. So it may not be on a Thursday, and we may have to do it on
A special day.
whenever he can do it.
I think we can work around his schedule, don't
I
you?
think so.
I'm in.
Shoot.
Lordy.
So tell your friends.
We started the show, what, 7 months ago, and it was a little tough at the start. Took a little while getting it going, but we've secured a dependable audience. They come in and they're learning more than anything else. That's what I like the most, is the folks that are watching this show are learning every single week. They come in, the questions get a little tougher, the photos get better. We're showing off some wonderful coins. Really, we get these discussion topics where we get right down into the detail, right into the hardcore of the hobby. It's working so well. We got this great panel over here. Chuck is usually here. We've had some others that have been in, and they come in.
Chuck will be back.
Yep.
Chuck will be back.
Yeah, he's moving, and I guess he's moving into a tornado wrecked area, so that's going to slow things down. But it's working out so darn well, and it's all because these folks keep coming back, and they get better, and we get better, and it's good for us, it's good for them, it's good for everybody, good for the hobby. Well, now we get an author. Now we get a published author, another one.
And there's somebody else lined up too.
I can't talk about that one.
For October.
Yep.
Well, you talked about him in your message to me just a minute ago.
That'll be a great treat. Yeah, we get we really get out into the hobby with this, and we start to touch people. Most of the folks in the hobby are just regular folks who talk about coins all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. They are approachable, right? Ken Potter, we've talked for hours going into the night about different, sometimes it's just bands. We're talking about heavy metal bands or whatever the heck. These are regular folks for the most part. They go home, they got kids and families and cars that break down the whole bit. And we talk about coins quite a lot. There's so much experience, though, when you start getting into these folks that have published works, that are developing these websites, that are writing like Chris over there, writing those blog articles and conveying the information that people are asking about. Wonderful.
One thing
Yeah, I never
is a lot of us have the same options too, right?
Pardon?
I think a lot of us have the same interests and hobbies outside of coin collecting as well. We meet a lot of different people in these groups, and we connect with some of them. I've connected with a lot of people, including everybody on this panel. Shay, I didn't meet you until I started doing these Q&As, really. But I feel a connection with you. I think you're a cool dude. But the same thing goes in the groups. You start to feel a connection with these people, and you start talking outside of these groups, and you find out that you have a lot in common. It's kind of weird how we all have a lot in common. There's a bunch of us that love old cars, old muscle cars, and music and fishing. A lot of us have the same hobbies, metal detecting. It's funny how it all kind of intertwines. And
Mopar in Coin Dragon's case.
Quick screen.
I'm a Chevy kind of guy. There's a Chevy and a GMC out there.
I do have another email. This one's about dimes from D. Reese. Let's take a look at it real quick.
Just off on a couple comments. I know a bunch. We were talking about this before the show. A couple of us about making friends in the industry. At least from my standpoint, is what I call it. Don't be afraid to reach out and talk to people. These people that are titans and people that are very, very in depth in certain areas within the hobby. Get a hold of them, talk to them. A lot of them want to talk. A lot of them want to know about you. And you open up, your interests, what you've been doing, your area of expertise. Make friends, absolutely.
I mean, look
Make
at the chat
acquaintances.
right now. Look at the chat. It's funny.
I'm in Mustangs, Blooming Barracudas, General Motors, cars and fishing.
Yeah, a lot of us have a lot of the same interests, and it's really cool.
Yeah, funny thing is even Jay Waterman, she goes all over the place doing shows and stuff. You know, the funny stories about getting caught in the airport with coins. That sparked a hell of a conversation. You know?
And when I got back on the boat from Bermuda, I got a backpack full of, what's it? Can we open your backpack, sir? Well, sure, go ahead. I do it. And I got to explain why I've got, you know, 40, 50 bucks worth of rolled coins from the Bahamas in a backpack coming onto a boat. But we do a show, and I give these away. Oh, okay, go ahead. They just want to make sure it wasn't like explosive or like a dangerous bat or something.
I still remember when I was flying out of Pittsburgh here, and there was about a dozen or two rolls of copper 55 cents I took with me. The look on the guy's face when that bag went through the machine.
Whoa, super! He's on the phone. You got to get out here right away.
Is that a lithium battery?
Ooh. Oh gosh, not a lithium battery. That's the worst thing.
So yeah, you have to go through and explain why you got all that stuff.
There's laws about shipping coins internationally. You can't in the United States. You can't export more than 5,000 coins, right?
How about Cuban coins?
Oh no, you cannot. You cannot import Cuban coins.
Yeah, try selling them on eBay.
No, they shut it right down. Forget it. Yeah, some neat laws out there. You got to just be aware of. One of my first cars was a cherry red 442.
Wow. Gotta love those Oldsmobiles, baby.
That's a beast right there. Man, you can drive through schools.
If anybody's like on my friends list on Facebook, check out the album I have on there called Cars. I'm always taking pictures of cars when I'm out on the road, and one of my favorites was a Buick Riviera I came across. I think it was maybe a 65, 66, but it had a Wildcat 465 in it. I mean, talk about an engine. Unbelievable. But it's just a really cool looking car.
Yeah, I had a 79 Lincoln Town Car, all white too. I could fit like 15 bodies in the trunk.
So you were into the hoopties, huh?
Yeah, no, we would sneak like the whole cheerleading team out in that trunk, out of school for lunch.
I had a 58 Chevy Biscayne back in college. We never got it to run. We got it to turn over about 3 times, but never got it to run. All we did was spend the summer drinking beer in the back seat saying, we got to fix this thing up. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Paul is having issues right now.
All right, let's take a look at this dime. This came in from D. Reese. Let me grab the image. All right. And D. Reese says, this appears to be one that is relatively common and doesn't show up well in the pictures, but the rim is set back from the edge of the coin. Is this a color issue or something? Now let's take a look at some of the pictures.
I know somebody that wrote a blog article about these.
Take it away.
So, okay, there's 2 possibilities here with this coin. You have either a misaligned die error or you have an off-center strike. In this case, it looks to be an off-center strike, albeit very minor. So, for instance, if both sides have the same thing going on, thicker rim at one side of the coin, thinner at the other. And if you flip it over, you have the same exact thing going on. That's an off-center strike. And this one's very minor, very common. Now, if you have this going on only one side of the coin, for instance, on the reverse, you have it's thicker at the top. If it's only like that on the reverse, then it's what's called a misaligned die error. And Ken Peavy showing you a nice example of what that's going to look like in real life.
And off center, the dies are lined up down the axis of the dies. They're properly centered, but the planchet is off center. On a misaligned die, okay, I got one die in the coin, the planchet is lined up just right, but the other die is misaligned. That's usually pretty minor. It's going to be like over here, but I want to show it in a way you understand it. And it's misaligned. It's the dies are not lined up. One of them is way over. So you got to look at both sides. But what's going to happen when you squeeze it? On one side, on a misaligned die, it's perfectly normal, okay? But on the other side, you're going to have a thicker rim versus the other. It'll be thin on one side, thicker on the other. For an off-center coin, when you squeeze it, that bit that's off-center is going to be seen on both sides of the coin. That's how you identify the darn things. And you get a lot more of these misaligned than you do off-centers. Off-centers are kind of tricky. You got a lot of mechanisms designed to keep that coin, right where it is when it's stamped. But a little bit of misalignment, that's understandable. These things do wiggle just a tiny little bit when you slam them with that kind of force, thousands and thousands of times. And that's all that happens. You get a little extra thickness on one side of the rim. And a lot of times, what also is going to happen is where'd that collar go? I had a collar here. It has run off, but you're going to get a little bit of metal between the collar and the die. No, it is totally run off. But what that's going to amount to is this little bit of kind of like a shark fin sticking up. There we go. We'll make it. There you go. You get this little bit of extra metal around that rim. And that's called finning. And that's not uncommon to see, a little bit wider rim and some finning showing up. And it's just the metal squeezing in between the die and the collar. It's gone. I've lost it. I don't know how I lose something this big.
Desk monster.
It eats things. I'll not find it for hours. Well, keep an eye out for that. The off centers start to be kind of more valuable when they're about 5% off center or more. If you got them real way off center, the value goes up. And especially if you have the date on the coin, that helps too, because people like to get every date off center. All right, but when it's misaligned and only one die is a little bit off, they really don't draw any premium at all. Just too darn common. You see them all the time.
I would like to add, though, extreme misaligned dies can be very valuable because those are quite scarce. And we're talking extreme examples, though.
So you just have a little bite. It looks like a planchet otherwise.
Okay, so we did get another email. This one came from Coin Searcher number 2.
Good night, Trey.
And let me make sure this is showing up right. Boom. There we go. All right. Coin Searcher 2 here. I found this while going through a bank box. It's a 1955 Lincoln. My question, I think he meant 1995 Lincoln. I'm reading wrong. My question is in regards to the lettering in E pluribus unum, serifs on lower left and wide letters. But if you look at the S, it looks like deteriorated die. Please help. All right. Let me take a look at this closer.
Hidden, can you repeat your question? Because I don't know what it was. And as far as Ant, what damaged coin are you talking about?
Him and CJ are talking.
Oh, that looks like die deterioration to me.
I'm not seeing anything out of place here.
I'm not either.
Those are sharp. The inside of the U is nice and rounded. I get a little bit of die deterioration on, going from the center outward.
Ken, Hidden is looking to know if you have a cherry picker's guide for sale.
No, I do not. I've got one. I was just talking to my nephew about these. After JT Stanton passed away, the cherry pickers guides, they've gone through the roof as far as resale value. Used to be you could pick the things up for $25 each copy, each edition, and now they're going for $200 and $300. They go for serious money right now.
I think this was just a light trick based on the lighting you're using.
I agree with that.
Because here you can see it's, quite normal S.
I'm going to draw a picture. And a lot of people, I don't think, understand what the shape of these devices look like. So bear with me for 1 second, please. If you were able to look at one of the letters, let's say the letter T, and you were able to look at it from the view of the coin, looking at the bottom of the T straight forward, this is what it looks like, a good perfect strike. So depending on where your lighting comes from, if it comes off to the side on an angle, it's going to create shadows and glare that actually really, really look like notching. If you adjust your lighting to directly above the coin, I'm sorry, it's backwards for me, so it's hard to get it. It's going to make all the difference for you. Lighting is so key when taking pictures and looking at coins, especially under a microscope. But these chamfered sides will give like a false indication of notching, depending on your lighting. And when you look at the edge view, the edge kind of goes the same way. So it's kind of like a 3D image. It's hard to draw, but I'm sorry, my lighting is terrible, but that would be like the actual edge of it. So keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff. Bye. I'm done.
I'm having a little problem because, okay, Super Silverman, he sent a video. I don't even know. I think I can load it. Hold on, let me just check.
It's so uncomfortable when the camera is just stuck on your face.
You're done talking.
All right, let me see if I can do this. All right, and there we go.
I'm not sure, Coin Searcher, I'm not sure you need a better scope. The images looked okay. It's the lighting that's the issue. I've had this issue. Shay, can you put it on me for 1 second? I don't know if I can show this on this camera, but a lot of the microscopes you buy online will come with a stand like this. And I mean, they're okay, but it's so hard to get the microscope standing upright, straight. So that will obviously affect your lighting. So I actually have 2 scopes, but I ended up buying 3 because I wanted a better stand like this. Sorry, it's hooked up to a cord, but this stand is awesome for that. I had to buy a 3rd scope just for the stand. And that allows me to have my lighting directly above the coin. So not necessarily the scope. It could be just the way you have your scope on an angle.
Hold on, just a minute. Keep talking.
I'm done.
Hold on.
About those cars, huh? Hey, you said you had a Buick Skylark. What engine was in that? Just curious. Was that the 465 Wildcat? Because it has a nice sound to it. And Frank, you said you're a Mopar guy. Me too, man. I love Mopar. I actually have a really cool Challenger, man. But I'm never allowed to drive it. My wife always has it.
All right, so I was able to get his video to play, but I can't zoom in on any of the coins or anything.
Whoa.
That's a greaser there.
Major one.
Woody. That's a handsome piece right there.
One with pistons in it. I hope so.
Greaser. Feeder fingers.
What year is that?
I think that was the 83.
I would be more towards linear plating blister on that one.
Oh, yeah, sure. Wait for it to come back around.
Ooh, look at that Woody.
Yeah, it's looping, so we'll come back around to it in a second.
Whoa.
I think it's an elongated set.
We got greaser.
Here it comes.
Can you
You
pause
got
it on
that?
the back?
Linear plating blister?
Linear plating blister, yeah.
Every bit of blister.
All right, so, well, that was cool. At least, Super Silverman, at least we got to play a video of your pictures. All right. Wow, I did it.
Love the demons, Frank.
All right.
I'm a weird guy too. Like, I love AMCs. They were some of the ugliest cars on the road, but I love them.
Gremlins?
Oh, Gremlins, Pacers, you name it.
You ever watch a Terminator movie? You know, Arnold, Count Squatch's face, I'll be back. They got they must have destroyed like 16, 20 AMC Gremlins in those movies.
What a shame. What a shame.
The movie hated Gremlins.
I love them all, man. The weirder the car, the more I like it. Like the Studebaker Avanti. Oh my God, man! Give me one of those bad boys any day of the week.
What was the car that looked like a moon car? It had the big rounded windows in the back.
That'd be the Pacer.
That's the Pacer, yeah. Oh, we used to call it the because that's the sound it would make when we drove down the road.
Yeah. Throw a couple Vegas in there. Oh yeah, give me a Chevy Vega, baby.
The Nova.
I had a couple of Novas. We took one. It was done. Really, it was tired. You could ride in the back seat, but you had to pick your legs up. Otherwise, you'd scrape them off on the road because there was no floorboards. It was done. We sold it for $1, right? Some guy would take it, keep it for a couple of months. He'd sell it for $1 to somebody else. It was done. We ended up having a pledge event, right? It's a way to get these guys to come up to the fraternity. So they say, "Oh, I think you guys are really cool. I want to join your fraternity." So we had a fundraiser for a local charity, and for $5, you'd take a sledgehammer in that car for 2 minutes. When it was done, it was 2 feet shorter. We beat it. There was bombs flying all over the place. Piece of windshield going over here. We should have.
I grew up in a small town. We used to have block parties, and every year our police force would have this old junky car, and every year they'd get a new one. And I say new, but it was not new. So the old one would get donated to the fire company, and then they would sell swings of the sledgehammer for like you said, $5. Who doesn't want to beat the crap out of a cop car, right? That was the best thing there.
There you go. Hey, you raise a couple of $100 for charity. You look good for the town. Some of the way you spend to haul the carcass away.
Hey,
my car was an '82 Firebird. It was just like the sleeper. It looked like a Firebird, but it had 4-cylinder engine.
Oh, the '80s were terrible, man.
Well, the lights popped up. They were kind of cute. That was a lemon.
So, Sean Craven, there's a site called Brian's Variety Coins, and there he goes over. He has all the pictures of all the different nickel or Jefferson nickel double dies. It's a good site. Wexler links to him for all of his nickels, and I just posted a link for it. Now it's kind of tricky. Some people don't ever. They start looking at his store instead of the actual listings. So when you go to the site at the top, there's a drop down that says nickel double die listings, and you can search 1938 to present, and it goes in. There's a whole listing there of all the ones that he has. So check that out. But yeah, there's a number of the double dies where it's inside of the door frame on the reverse, the DDRs. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think, yeah, that we don't have any more email at this point. So if you
have a screenshot of Brian's listings, you want to pop that up.
Sure.
Oh, here we go. Here it is. Brian, www.briansvarietycoins.com. And you're going to come up here to the top. Not over here. This is what's for sale and stuff. You want to hit that one. Nickel double dies. And here are his listings. And pick a date. You'll find it. There it is. What day? What date are we talking?
2019.
2019. Let's see. 2006 to present. What you got? What you got? You're gonna see it above the doorway, inside the doorway.
Yeah. Sometimes extra thickness on that triangle window.
There you go. And you can pop up each of these. Where'd that go? I can pop that one up. It'll show you closer. And there's that extra bit of metal, just like the you see on the Lincoln cents.
Yep, like a class 9.
Yep. Seriously, you can get these coins. Let's go back and scroll down a little more. 2019. Let's see if he's got anything listed. That's fairly new. It does take a little time for new discoveries to make its way through the systems. I'm going to use this and come down. 2016.
The end.
2019, number 1.
Let's play Frank's game. Post single squeeze double dies are so blank.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Easy
that, nice. That one you just clicked on, Ken. That was a pretty nice.
Yep. Look at this. It's way the heck down here.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
What's the next one here? Right above the doorway in the corner. There you go. These are tiny little things, right? But you can find these, and all you need is a 10x loop will do it. Where do you see it here?
This one's on the satin finish.
Looks a little thicker.
Yeah.
The next one. What was it? Tilted hub doubling shows in the upper portion of the door frame on the center door above the steps.
Oh.
Right in here.
Yep.
Yep. And that's number 6. That's a satin.
Somebody in one of the groups was credited with one of these new discoveries here. I'm not sure. I can't remember who it was.
Wait a minute. They're making satin nickels again? I'm missing the boat. Did I miss something here? Satin?
Oh, yeah. I must be missing it too.
Did they start doing the mint sets in satin again? And
I didn't think so.
They stopped responding to me months ago. There you go, right above the door here, extra bit. They produced Satins from 2005 to 2010. If they started up again, I want to know it, because that's the way a coin should look. They're sharp, they're clean, they're crisp, they're yummy. I like those Satins. There's another one above the door.
So Ken got so strong, a bowl of Satins every day.
Hey, pour some milk over there and dig right in.
Yo, where's this Charles Hudson guy at, man? He's look at it. Has almost every discovery in 2019 so far.
Charles Hudson.
I just
Aaron
picked.
Holcomb. Charles Hudson. Charles Hudson. Charles Hudson. Yeah. Karen,
Come on, bro.
Charles
Save some for the rest of us.
There you go. They're out there, and you can find them. And we got some time markers available.
Look at it.
Sure. What are we looking at?
Apparently, the U.S. Mint is offering these on back order for, and they include satin nickel.
Get the heck out. Only the nickel?
There's not much detail here. Uncirculated coin set enrollment. Let's see.
It's 80 years. Why would they do an 80-year anniversary or something and change the finish on the nickel?
Make money.
Are they bringing out more novelties? Is that what it is?
Another gimmick. Maybe it's another gimmick, just like all the other stuff they do.
It doesn't say anything about it. I entered satin nickel and this set came up, but let me.
Thought you were going to bed, Trey.
Huh.
Larkin again.
I don't know. For sure. I'll have to check into it. That's
Yeah.
cool. All right. I also got a photo from Cindy showing off. Let me go to this.
Yo, Trey was all up in arms because I know somebody that worked for NGC, and here this guy pulls out of his hat, a celebrity. Come on, man. No wonder you can't sleep. Ooh, that's nice. Looks like a nice big RPD.
Yeah, repunched date. 1865. What is that? It's her favorite cherry pick, she said.
That's a nice one. Just curious where it was cherry picked from. eBay, dealer table, junk bin.
$0.03 nickel. All right, let's see.
So she cherry picked it on YouTube? She must have bought it off of Shay.
Ouch.
Sorry, man. Had to.
I would have seen that one.
Interesting.
Uh-oh. What are you coming up with, Jeffrey?
Me? I'm not coming up with anything.
Oh, is that why it's interesting?
Just said you picked it off of YouTube. Well, not interesting.
Come on, man. You can't say interesting and then have nothing to back it up with.
What is that?
I thought you were going to have something there for me.
All right, I got something here from D. Reese. Wondering a grade for this 1958. I can't take it out of the flip. That would help. or I can take it out of the flip if that would help. Let me see some pictures here. That was a little blurry.
What do we got? A proof?
1958 proof.
50 proof. Cam desk.
And what are we looking for?
Grade. What's the grade?
64.
Yeah, there's some spots on there. That big black one above M, really going to hurt you. There's a little one left to the N, above S, to the right of the wheat stalk. Yeah, those are going to hurt you.
Nerd. Chuck always, my favorite quote of Chuck's is, spots are for leopards and coins that are in MS64.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my favorite quote of Chuck's.
Yep. And Chuck says he doesn't have a sense of humor. Some of the stuff he does is pretty good.
Spots are for leopards and coins under MS64. He said it on 6/27/19.
Wow, man, that's a little strange.
I wrote it down because I wanted to get the exact quote. It's written on my wall. It's written on the whiteboard over here.
Nice. MS64 is for leopards and MS64.
Yo, I don't envy Chuck right now because he's probably moving like 7,000 pounds of pennies.
I think it came out to over 6,000 pounds. It was the
6,200 or something. 6,000.
That's crazy. That is crazy. My wife would kill me. Shay, what about you? Huh?
Oh yeah. Adriana would.
He's thinking, I hope she doesn't find out.
I hope she doesn't look in the shed out back.
I have 4,000 varieties. I hope she ain't watching.
There's a storage unit in different parts of the town that she doesn't know about.
What's this bill for a storage unit? We keep those old clothes, baby.
Shay, what's this weird the withdrawal of $75 a month every month?
Well, you see, I get the free month of storage, and then as soon as the free month wears out, I get that's why there's 4 on the bill.
God, Shay.
I'm just kidding.
No, he's not. CJ said the total for Chuck's coins was 63.20.
That's 3 tons of pennies.
That's crazy, right? Absolutely crazy.
All right, so how many pennies is that? Quick, CJ.
Can't. You don't know. How many are copper? How many are post?
Take an average. I don't know.
82.
Chuck had it all broke down. If you go back to his post, he
did.
Darn near 1 million pennies.
There you go. Nice. Coin dragon.
Chuck's the only person I know in the history of the world that drove a Penske truck full of pennies.
He's got 1 million pennies, and this is normal. This is a perfectly acceptable thing. I don't have anything wrong with it. I aspire to be like that.
I was explaining to my mom the other day because she's like, I haven't found any double to dies, and I felt so bad. I was like, Mom, there's hundreds of billions of these pennies, and even if you've looked at 1 per second, every second of the rest of your life, you're only going to see maybe a few million. I mean, there's no way you can look at.
Shay.
What?
Be a good son and give her a couple of them, okay?
I take him down there.
Frank,
if I find some and she finds some, we've decided that we were going to split it. So.
Well, actually, if you went and looked at 1 penny every second for 80 years straight, that would be 2,522,880,000 pennies.
And that's about how many Chuck has in his house right now.
That's about what he's got.
Yeah, Frank stole my joke. I was just going to ask Ken about, he's inspired because he really wants to be that 1 million penny project.
Mm-hmm.
Frank stole my joke.
All right, let me check to see if I have any more.
Now what are we doing? Oh, Sean sent an email.
Here's let's see, let me get CJ's in there.
Yeah, Frank's pretty quick on the draw, Jeff. You got something on your mind, you better spit it out right away, or Frank's going to beat you to it.
Well, I was going to, but I didn't want to interrupt Shay and you.
This is from CJ.
Ooh, two of them.
You see inside the 9, under the 9, under the 6, inside the 6, both sides of the center of the 8, and under the top of the 1.
Love it. Now, here's where I say, CJ, you have 2 of them, man. You know, share the wealth, brother.
Yep, there's 2 of us.
Can I have the one on the top?
That's right.
Just the 2 of us.
Yeah, CJ sits and he trolls eBay doing this stuff.
Yeah. It's a thing. But that's just me, CJ.
I thought I did a lot, but some of that, that usury. I mean, I do a lot, but
I pillage eBay, he says.
he does.
No, we get on there and we feed each other. Dude, get over here and look at this 2 cent. You throw the link over and we all go over and look at that and say, ooh, ah. And while they're going, ooh, ah, I bid on it.
Ken Sniper.
Yeah, I always. I know that all of us look for the same stuff. So I wonder how, like, in the last 4 seconds, how much we're bidding up each other.
Do you find that they try to do things to take your, attention away from the screen in those last 4 seconds?
No,
Jeffrey,
because they'll know I'm in the stream until it's too late.
Jeff, what's that to the right side of your head there? You might want to take a look at that. Boom, snipe.
That's a quarter.
Yeah, this one comes from let's see. I don't want to say their name. Old school folks. And there's no question. It just says quarter. Quarter.
There it is.
Well, that sure is a quarter.
Let me look at this. I don't
Shake the tail feathers. Shake the tail feathers.
It's a P.
Okay, what's this bid napper we speak of?
I would want to look in this area for the extra stem, I think it's called. I think it's is it a clash or crack? No, it's not a crack. It's a clash. Clack. There you go, as Adrian said. But I don't see it on the coin. And then sometimes they come with little die chips up here by the flower and all out underneath the tail feathers. And so, but I don't.
I just want to say, for you being the $50 guy, man, you starting to really take off with these quarters.
Hey, once you can identify the things on one series, you can extend that knowledge, that experience to any series.
Jeez, man, now Chuck's going to make fun of you for both quarters and halves.
Yeah. Well, I think $50 have just been so searched. I mean, I pulled out 3 double dies, a couple of die cracks, and 15 NIFCs. All right.
Hey, Shay, let me ask you a serious question. How many $50 varieties do you have in your collection right now? And I'm not talking individual ones like DD04. Like maybe you have 10 of DD04. I want the total number of varieties you have in your collection right now. Just a guesstimate, quick guesstimate.
He's going to pull out the sheet. He's pulling out the sheet.
No, come on, man. You got to know off the top of your head.
He's pulling the big binder of secrets.
Because I'm getting at something here. I'm getting at something.
This is my leftover box. And I got full ones of these over there, but
So in your best guesstimate, how many do you own right now?
300.
And you wonder why you're not finding any, dude. You found them all already.
I knew it was going somewhere.
You're done.
I have not.
You know what? I'll tell you something.
160 varieties.
I know, but listen my theory here.
Okay.
I do this once in a while. I go through box after box after box, and I do Lincolns. And after a while, I'm not finding anything at all, like nothing. So I think to myself, did I suck this area dry? What happened? So what I'll do is then I'll wait a while. I stop. I wait. I let the change circulate some more and mix around. Maybe I'll do a different denomination, and then I go back to it.
Bingo. That's
Yeah.
why I'm doing quarters.
Yeah. And honestly, it sounds crazy, but there is something to it because there's been, I was doing it so frequently. I was doing 2 boxes a week every week for months and months and months. And then after a while, I wasn't finding anything at all, not even a class 9. And those are so common, it's ridiculous. I wasn't finding anything. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to give it a break for a while. And I did. And I think the stuff that I'm looking through kind of follows like a circular pattern. It stays in a small general area for the most part, I think. You spend it here locally, it goes to a bank eventually, then it goes to this third-party company that rolls it, then it comes back to the bank, and I'm getting it. I mean, obviously, there's so many more variables in there, but I'm just making a basic, kind of cycle there. So every once in a while, you just got to step away from it and let it replenish. Does that sound crazy?
No, I mean, I stopped searching half dollars for a while, and I just got 2 boxes yesterday, the first time in a month. All right. And I got 3 doubled dies out of 100 rolls. All right. Now, out of the 2 boxes of quarters, I got 37.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's just a much richer area for me right now in the stock is getting all these doubled dies out of the quarters, and I'm having a blast. And that's fine. I sometimes feel like I'm missing out on the silver that's coming out in some of the boxes and collection dumps and whatnot. But until I can figure out how to go find other sources of half dollars in other areas, I've been thinking of going up to Waco to see if I could get Dallas stock. But
half dollars are even tougher, I think, in my opinion, because they're so infrequently used. Your supplier is getting them from, where do they get them from? You get them from Brinks? Or are they coming from Loomis? Where are they coming from?
All of them. I go to different banks. I go to Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, a bunch of credit unions. I try to get stock from all of them.
So you're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're still having a hard time finding this stuff. But I think in half dollars, they're tough. Because even those suppliers only keep so many of them on hand because, let's be honest, not many people use them anymore. So, who knows? You might have searched through all of the damn half dollars in Texas, man.
I have searched, I think, 1.5 million half dollars. So,
yeah.
Okay, here we go. I got some numbers if you want to see that one. I got it up on my screen.
Oh, see, Ken did the math here.
Yeah, there's always some math you can do.
Yep.
Let's see where to go. I had it. There. Can you see it yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I took the total number of Lincoln cents from my coin collector checklist, right? Added it all up, and I come up with 518 billion pennies. Now, mind you, most of them are after 1960 because really you don't have that many wheat cents. Okay. I take the number of people. I look at 340 million people in the U.S., right, and divide the number of coins by the number of people, and I end up with 1,525 pennies per person. So how many people are in your county, Chris? Because that's not a big county.
I have no idea.
That long. I mean, if you're going through 30 rolls per person, you do 3,000, 4,000 rolls. You probably used and gone through most of the pennies in your area. And these small towns, well, they don't really, change out the pennies with the neighboring bank all that much. It mostly stays local.
Yeah, and I have one bank I go to, so I'm kind of very limited.
Yeah. These things are heavy. You can pick out your area, especially if it's a small population in your area, because there won't be that many pennies. Just what's the need? What's the demand? Take a trip to, drive 50 miles and go pick some up that bank. I picked stuff up out of town, and it's wonderful because they haven't circulated where I am. I've picked up so darn many here. How many? What? Hundreds of boxes in this area. I'm nuts with this. Yeah, it can be done. You can pick an area pretty clean, especially if it's a small population. Big cities, that'd be a little tougher. Really, if you got 1 million people in your area, now you're talking 1.5 billion pennies. That would be much harder to pick clean, but you're probably not doing it alone either at that point.
Well, there's 8 million people, maybe more by now, in San Antonio.
Okay, so we take that, and we got Sam. Let's take the San Antonio. That's close enough. I can't type. We got 8 million. Okay, which should say I'm going to equal that times the rate. Should be, that's a really big number, 8 million people. Let's make that big. What are you looking at? 1, 2, you got 12 billion pennies in the San Antonio area. That's if those 8 million, 1, 2, 3, 6, yep. That's if those 8 million people, there are 15 pennies per person in the area. My county, right? I got, what do we got in the county? 56,000. So I've got, about 8.5 million. It was 1, 2, 3. I got 85 million pennies in this county. You figure. Well, next door we got Jacksonville. They got another billion pennies. So we're not at risk of running out of pennies anytime soon. But these small towns where you got, what do we got here in this town? 857 people. I'm one of them. There's 1.3 million maybe in this little town, but I doubt it. This town doesn't have the same economy as, say, Jacksonville.
Ken, what did you say the population of your county was?
56,000.
Wow, that is surprising because I live in like this weird, crappy county in Pennsylvania, and we have 142,569 people.
Wow. There's a couple of counties in Florida that are smaller, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind living there. Most of the other counties are bigger, and if there's humans there, you can have it. I like the woods. I like the peace and quiet and pleasantness of the woods.
Yeah, Rob Treasures does his searching in Dallas, and maybe I should go to Houston then. Maybe.
Yeah. See, there's another variable. Is there anybody else doing that in your area? And believe it or not, it's very possible. I know there's somebody in my area that has a Rydale. I know it. And if I find them, I'm going to kill them. Because, I've had box after box after box where not one coin in the box was older than 1982. And I could snap because that's where the good stuff is. So maybe I'll start doing $50. Who knows?
I was thinking of doing some dimes.
Dimes are untouched.
Yeah.
You want to get
there's a lot of opportunity in dimes.
Do dimes.
And dollars. I like doing dollars. The looking at all the edges of your dollars is just as bad as looking at dimes.
Are they face up? Are they face down?
Is there doubling there? Is there overlap? Are there missing letters? Are they, what do they call them? Weak letters? Oh.
I'm not into that stuff, man. That's too minor for me.
Well, look at what you can get for them though. Like missing edge lettering, you can get $1,000 for it.
Well, okay, the missing edge lettering, yeah. I actually have a Washington graded missing edge lettering, and I tried selling it. I couldn't even get $20 for it.
Oh,
How sad is
Washington?
that?
Really?
Washington. Yep.
2007.
I spent all my money on barbers this week.
I couldn't get $20 for that sucker. So you know what? I kept it. I'd
Yeah.
rather just keep it in my collection. I'm not going to give it away.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeffrey woke up. Hey, buddy. I'm going to miss you when you're gone, man.
Are you?
I'm going to.
You say that now. You get some peace and quiet for once.
No.
I'm not gone. I don't know why you guys are saying I'll be gone.
Because you'll be working Thursday nights while we're having fun here, man.
Gotta make money to buy coins.
Oh, I hear that.
I'm sick with it. I should stop buying coins for a while.
Ken, quit giving yourself false hope.
Did anybody else, like when Ken said I'm sick with it, the next line that came to my head was Straight Gangsta Mac. Anybody ever hear that song? Sick
Nope.
with it. Straight Gangsta Mac. I don't know what it is.
It's on my pay grade.
Oh, I know what it is. The Humpty Dance. I'm sick with
The
this.
Humpty Dance.
Straight Gangsta Mac.
With the hump.
Yeah. See?
I like my oatmeal lumpy.
Oh, God.
All right, Jeff sent in an email and says these are the new unattributed 2019 P DDR nickels that I found. I just sent these to Brian. These are duplicates. Let me see here if we can get up close. Oh yeah,
Ah,
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Way to go, Jeff.
I don't know. I saw one. Wasn't there one very similar to that first picture there? There was a similar one on Brian's variety coins that I saw.
Yeah.
I'm doing it now, but it goes through the door frame. Like that one does. Where'd it go? Yeah. Okay. I've got it up here in the window. What number is it? Let me stop. What are you doing? WDDR number 1.
Yep. Boom.
I'm looking at that, and so are you now. Goes through the window, but you also have a secondary up above. Does yours have that one?
Nope.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, could be a new one. And we keep on looking. That one's on the right side. This one's on the left side, but bigger, but does not go through.
What did Hidden say this time that we missed?
I saw his comment. I was waiting till you guys got done.
Come on, man. Break in.
Like, have a little bit of patience, my friend. Come on.
Yeah, we got that one. Go back one.
Somebody give Hidden a lollipop or something.
That one seems to be a match for number 5. Is that a satin finish? Perhaps a satin-like finish. That seems to be a match for number 5. Is there a die chip on the left side of the building? Do we have the coin to look at, or just the photos of the close-ups? Okay, could be earlier die stage. We're looking for just a little bit of a die gouge under the E in 5.
Oh, I see it.
We're not going to be able to see that one.
What's that? What is that where the cursor was just at?
No, this should show up on that level of detail. Okay, well, compare that to number 5, nonetheless.
Good job, D. Reese. Thanks, man.
There's number 5. Okay. Yeah, there are still new discoveries to be found. And we did the math a while back. And there's a progression. There's a pattern. The Mint gets new tools, new equipment, and what do you know? Geez, everything's working tight and right, and they don't get a lot of double dies. Right. The next year, maybe they get a little worn, and that you start to see 1 or 2 double dies, and a couple of years later, you get 5 or 6, and after about every 7 to 9 years, you get a maximum. You get these years with all kinds of double dice. 2009, for example, there'd be 100 of them. About 11 years seems to be the right number. So 2020 would be the next year with a maximum. So we get to test the theory.
I'm excited about 2020 because you know how we love looking at those points inside the zeros. Now we're going to have 2 zeros to look for those points.
Two.
That 0 closest to the rim, that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it ain't going to last, though. Just a year, maybe.
Sean had a question, chat.
What are the steps in sending a coin for grading? 1 is do your homework. Determine what's the coin's value, what's its marketability when it's graded. Is there a difference in the price of its current marketability and what it could market for as graded? And is that difference enough to pay for shipping, insurance, certification fees, commissions, and a little extra to be worth your time? It's the same coin in the slab or out of the slab. It doesn't gain value. All you're doing is adding more expense. Now, if you think you can market that coin more effectively, then it might be worth your time. Some people just want to get it certified for their own personal collection. There's nothing wrong with that, whatever you like. But if there's a reason to grade it, usually it's going to be because you want to make money.
And a lot of times you have to know what the variety is, otherwise you're going to have to pay them extra to do research for you.
So I have a theory on this. I'm not a big fan of grading, but I do believe it has its place in the hobby. My opinion is if it's a rare coin, a key date, an extremely high grade, or a coin that is often copied.
You have that authentication in there.
Yeah. So now let's take a look at something. I see this comment go around a lot. If the coin's worth $100, then it's worth grading. I agree with that. I disagree with that because here's my reasoning. Let's say the coin is worth $100, okay, and you want to sell it. You decide to send it off for grading. Let's say it's a variety. Let's say it's a 1972 double die, and it's worth $100. And this is all hypothetical. You send it off. You pay for the grading fee, you pay the shipping, and you pay for the attribution fee. You're into the coin $50 now, okay? So are you going to be able to sell that coin for $100, or are you going to be able to sell that coin for $150? The coin's worth $100. You have $50 into it, you sell it for $100, you just lost $50. Think about that. I think a coin should be worth $200. To get it graded or even higher. And then a lot of other people think that, oh, this is a double die. Should I get it graded? Well, you're not sending a coin to be graded because it's a variety. You're sending a coin to be slabbed because it is a higher grade, or at least you think it's a higher grade. And that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I like raw coins. I like to play with them and touch them and feel them and
like
keep the fingerprints off of the faces, only by the rims, of course, but I'm just not a big fan of plastic. And then you can really start jumping. We talk about rabbit holes a lot. You start getting into this, you could be jumping into a rabbit hole there because you go and send this coin off for grading, and then now you want a CAC sticker for it or whatever it may be. You're starting to invest a lot of money in that coin. And Jeff just stated something. The question came up in one of the Facebook groups the other day. It was a 1972 double die. I think it was number 1, whichever the more extreme one was. And their question was, should I have this graded? It was a decent looking coin, so maybe, but probably not. But they wanted to get it graded because it was a variety, not because of its condition. And to me, if you can see, obviously, that it is a double die. You don't need someone else to tell you that. So that's my 2 cents on it.
My 2 cents. I've got a coin right here, and it's pretty. It's nice. You know, it's worth say $100. If I put that penny into a holder, how much more value is added because of this inexpensive unplasticized vinyl flip? Have I added value? It cost me 8 cents for the flip. Have I added value? Let's say I send that same penny off to certification. How much more is that penny worth encapsulated in a Superheroes Graded Collections slab here? Has that added value to the coin? The only thing I see is additional expense. Now, there are some coins that are only going to sell. You're not going to sell it, dude, unless it's encapsulated. Okay, so, well, that's the cost of doing business. 1914Ds, they like to see those encapsulated in higher grades. 1909 SVDB, the pennies, they'd like to see those encapsulated because they don't want to spend good money and get a counterfeit coin. So there is some utility to it, but it's an expense. Bear that in mind. We're not value. Marketability can be improved.
All right, I'll hop in here and answer. What was it? Cindelicious question she asked about the 50D nickel. If it's a key date, why is it not priced as such? There's 2.5 million minted. I don't. That's a lot of coins. I mean, even to look at what's it, the 87 have. There's a lot of them. It's a modern era. They're overlooked. There's just people not a lot of people put together a nickel set. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
The trick is that we're calling them key dates. They are key dates to the series. Okay,
they're relative. They're relative.
Yeah, relative to the series, but in the great expanse of the coin collecting hobby, they're not really rare. And I want to say, Eric Blues Coins brought up a good point. A lot of times you can go on eBay and buy a slabbed coin for much less than the price it costs to get that same coin graded by one of those companies. So keep that in mind.
Now, I get the figures for 1950D. There are 2.6 million produced, and that's pretty darn low for the Jefferson Nickel series. There aren't that many lower, and it's probably for business strikes. It's the lowest, so it is the key date for the series. I mean, you got some proof sets that have smaller mintage with a nickel in there. That's all well and good, but you got 2.1 million surviving. Well, that's most of them. There are probably not 2 million people collecting high-grade Jefferson nickel sets, and you can get these for for $10. Something like say a 1914D Lincoln, yeah, they draw substantially more because you have 100,000 surviving specimens, and you get 2 million collectors of Lincoln cents. So it's supply and demand. On the 50D, you've got a copious supply.
Yeah, CJ brings up a good point. Everybody knew that 50D was a key date before they even minted them. So people hoarded them. They're very easy to find in better grades. And, I mean, you can go to any coin show just about, and you can find a dealer that has a full roll of them. Now, go to any coin show and try to find a dealer that has a full roll of 1914D pennies or 1909 SVDB pennies. It's not going to happen. So, as Jeffrey said, it's all relative.
And then bring up the whole slab thing, Well, here's an 11S. What I've had priced, $5?
Oh, man, the creepy Jefferson.
It is, yeah. What, a 29S first release. When I got that, $8. Buy them from the bulk graders.
And how much do you think they cost to actually get slabbed?
A couple bucks, $2-3.
So those were bulk submissions by dealers. I'm hoping to get extremely high grades. The ones that don't make the cut get sold off for cheap prices.
Hey, they got a contract. They send in as many as they want to meet their contract.
Now, average Joe Schmo from the street finds a proof nickel in circulation and wants to send it in to get it graded. How much is it going to cost them?
$20-30. at least. And I guess I'll chime in on the whole slab thing. From a dealer perspective, the market wants slabbed coins. You can't deny that. The market wants slabbed coins. In pretty much every facet, the market wants slabbed coins. You either have to go with it or against it.
Well, there's nothing stopping Joe in the street from becoming a dealer and submitting coins in volume.
Except for money.
Well, there you go. Nothing stopping Joe on the street from getting a job and earning some money so we can afford to send coins in, in volume.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
right.
large volume, they get that prices. A large volume, they get that prices. And you're guaranteed some grades out of it, so.
And maybe a little preferential treatment on top of it.
Well, it's a business. At this point, it's blown into a full-blown business. They have to make their money, so they have to treat their good customers good.
Okay, yeah, we got 670s for you. Here you go. Yep, just take the next come off and put the 70 sticker on them.
Words from quite a few people in higher places. Most of the coins are graded before they come off the truck.
Dude, they got graded before they were made. I got a contract. Yep. I want 75 MS70 coins. There you go. And just, you could send them your grandmother and she'd get a stamp on her head. Come on.
I'd stuff her into the capsule, yep.
So there is a problem with having faith, having stock in those grades. How then can we have any faith in their companies at all?
If you think about it, people are actually taking advantage of that now because people are buying older slabbed coins and they are resubmitting them for better grades. Because I truly believe that when these companies came out, they had a mission and they were true to that mission. And over time, it's a business, it grows. Bottom line is it's a business. So now, politics are always involved in this kind of stuff. So now people are buying these older coins and maybe some of them truly are better grades. But I think the grading standards were a lot tighter when this all first started.
Well, you used to have 3 people would check the coin. That was the idea. They were juried. Right? And 2 out of 3 had to come up with a common grade. And now I got these coins, and I'm thinking, how could 3 people miss that big gash on this guy's head and call it MS69 or whatever? No, these standards have fallen flat. I question the integrity of the grades they put on their slabs. There, I said it publicly.
Yeah, there's one company that's worse than the other in terms of grading coins in high grades, and you will see that the prices of those coins and slabs at the same grade differ a lot.
There is another way to do it.
Teach us, Professor Ken. Teach us.
I can take a picture of this coin and I can identify that coin based on what you see in the details of that coin, right? Here it is. Where are you here? No. There. I can identify this coin exactly and properly and precisely. So now I don't have to certify the coin. I certify the photo of that coin. As long as I can get another photo of that coin and compare it to what I have in my database. This coin is piece dollar number 1246857, right? There you go. And I can see that. And I can assign a grade to it, what I think it is. Or better yet, how about you jury the coin by the users of that site? So now you have a consensus must be developed by the users of that site. They all say, oh, I think it's a VF20, right? And you kick at the lowest ones, you kick at the highest ones. You can qualify the people who are offering the grades, right? And you can get a consensus. That's what grading is all about, consensus. Now the coin sells. Somebody takes delivery of it, and they've got the record of that coin. Here it is. It's a VF20. And there's 17,000 people that have agreed that this is a VF20 coin. Right? It's not in a slab. You're not paying for that. None of it. You can do it photographically. Put the coins out there and allow the hobbyists to decide the grade. Let it be juried before the world by the hobby. What's the grade on that coin? Okay, you'd have to qualify the people that are able to vote on the quality of that coin. You'd have to watch the trends of how they're grading. You'd have to have the coin presented anonymously. Kind of neat. Over time, you'd want to show that coin to the same guy again to get his opinion again. So it becomes an organic thing. Geez, you saw that coin 4 years ago and you graded it VF, but this time you graded VG. We want to look at his grading pattern. But if you have enough people that are grading the coins based on the photos, you can come up with a consensus. It kind of makes it neat because you can no longer, geez, if we got the photo registration of that coin, the ID on that coin, it gets reported stolen, right? And then the same darn thing shows up 6 months later. Guy wants to know about it, and look, it's the same coin we had was reported stolen. The insurance company who insured that coin is probably going to want to know, where did you get that piece? Because it's registered to somebody else. Kind of makes it hard to steal coins too. You're selling that coin? It's reported stolen, 2 months ago in the photo registry, and where'd you get the darn coin? Let me call some friends of mine. They'll want to show up and ask you a few questions about that coin. It would offer security to your coins doing it that way. It would offer the entire hobby, everybody in the hobby, the opportunity to say, what is that coin? We'd have to qualify them. They'd have to be trained up and competent. And instead of having 3 people looking at your coin, influenced by their manager who's looking at a contract with this guy who sends in 20,000 coins a year, we take that out of the equation.
So, if you want a really insightful viewpoint of how they think inside PCGS, there was I think it was it Coin Week?
Coin Week, yes.
Coin Week podcast with Steve Feltner on grading, and he's now the director of numismatic education at PCGS. I'll post a link real quick, but it was very interesting. They call the returned coins old friends, and they have other references for things like this for coins that were broken out of a slab and sent back in, and they come in a dozen times and different graders see them. Very, very insightful discussions about, this guy was a grader for like 10 years. And so he talks about the grading rooms and the way they, how they think about coins. And so, I don't know, I just found it very interesting. So I would recommend people listen to it.
Yeah, PCGS does a little machine. They put those coins in them, and and that machine runs that photos of those coins to a little database, and it pulls up if that coin was ever at PCGS before.
So
they know when coins have been resubmitted.
Yeah. So let's see. I have a Coin Dragon sent in a couple photos. This is his cherry pick of the week. 1966. Kennedy $50. Look at that doubling on the chin. Nice. Very cool, Coin Dragon. A tripling on the eyeball. Hot lips.
Reminds me of a Rod Stewart song. Anybody know?
You got me. I'll know at the moment you say it. But
Hot legs.
oh. Let's see. Oh, Brian Hooper sent me something too, so let me go grab that.
You guys, I'm gonna call a night here soon. I gotta get up and I gotta be at the fun house tomorrow morning.
You know, I was too busy on here, and I forgot to check some of my messages. Denise, the same woman that had the dropped letter, sent me some pictures. She has a nice, looks like a 72 double die, 69S with some major machine doubling. Same with the 68S. But what really stands out to me is an extreme doubled die on a 1964 Kennedy $50. So I'm going to send that in. We'll take a look at that quick if we can.
So Brian Hooper sent this in and said MS70 with a rim ding.
So it's one of the gold buffaloes.
Yeah, look at that top of that by above the base.
People miss that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a prime example of bulk grade, and they put the wrong coin in the wrong slab. Because usually what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll pick out these, and these will get the 66s, 67, 68s.
You know, and there's another one that I'm just totally against. It's a gold coin. It's bullion. Why grade it? I get maybe some of them. If you get a 70 grade, you can get a premium. But wow, that's sad. If I was a person buying this coin, graded 70, and I got this in the mail, I'd be pretty mad.
At that price point, you're buying it because you want to buy you want to know it's real, right?
The market wants slabbed coins. If it's gold, if it's not, if it's bullion, the market wants slabbed coins. They do.
I know, but how mad would you be if you bought this thinking it was a 70 and you got that in the mail?
Oh, I'd be
That's
furious.
That's why you buy it from good sources and you send it back.
Yeah, but it's not the source that's at fault here. It's the grading company. That's the problem.
Can backtrack it.
The more errors that these third-party graders come up with, the more mistakes they make, the less faith we can have in their product. Is it intentional or is it unintentional? This one, did the guy pay for an MS70 slab coin, or did he pay to have the coin slabbed? And they made an oops.
Well, you know,
I'm hearing more and more stories of these mass graders going in, and they want X number of top grade coins.
It's interesting if that was underneath the holder arm there, the little lips of the thing, you might not have ever seen it.
No.
It might have gone for years without anybody ever picking that out like that.
Yep.
Heartbreaking. Well, all right.
Pay for perfection. You better darn well get it, says Coin Dragon.
Remember, buy the coin, not the slab.
That's right. Brian said, oh, nice. Well, that's a good outcome. Cool. Well, guys, it is getting late. I want to thank everybody on the panel for hanging out with us and doing the thing again. It was a good show. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your photos, your great photographs and questions, and really appreciate you guys coming back to see us week after week. Tell your friends.
And we got we'll probably have an important guest coming up in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you subscribe to all these channels so you don't miss it. We have a Facebook group called called Coin Q&A, and we usually do a pretty good job of posting the link when it's going live, because we do bounce from one channel to the next. And geez, if we do have Bill 5 coming, you might want to stop in for that. We'll get some questions ready for him. And you can get your questions ready for him too.
I only have one question, so please nobody steal it.
There's a link for the Facebook group if you want to become a member. That way you can get all the updates on the show in advance, and definitely subscribe to all the channels. So, all right. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks for showing up, everybody.
Yeah. Have a great night, and see you around the coin world.
Peace.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.